What's good, DGBA YouTube? It's your boy JJbizzle back for the first time since 2016. And if you don't remember me, I am the Season 1 champ, aka the Chillicothe Cloisters, aka I swept Haz with Levani and a Volcanion, aka I'm now 30 with a wife and 3 dogs, aka the founder of the DGBA with obviously the OGs. And yeah, I got Haz with me today to rate some of these teams. What's going on, Haz?
What's going on, guys? It's Haz. I haven't got a wife, haven't got any dogs, and I haven't got. I don't think I have any Levanis on my schedule, so I'm doing great.
So you're gonna win. So well, you probably got some Savalis, so you're gonna lose those games, but it's all right.
I think I face a Volcanion actually. So
oh yeah, you're screwed. Yeah, you're screwed
for that.
Yeah, you're screwed. You're screwed. It's no good without webs though. So
yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna get into this ranking. We got the slideshow all set up and ready to go. I think our rankings were pretty far apart, so we're gonna have some decent disagreements here. And
which I think is good, you know.
It's not bad.
Best
it's not
of
bad.
Both things. I should also say as well, you know, if you disagree with our point of view, you're wrong. We're right.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the ones in the power rankings.
Yeah, kick rocks.
You don't know anything about Pokemon.
Exactly. Man. Yeah, we are both seasoned battlers for decade plus now, and it's not like we haven't touched the game.
This is DGBA power ranking royalty, right?
These are the
know your place. Know your place.
That's a funny story. So I forgot it was like 4 months ago or 5 months ago or something. I said I just was talking shit to you in the general chat of the DGBA. I just told you to bleep off or something, and and somebody came to your defense, and I don't know who they are, and I just said look at my badges and then try again. Like don't these young kids step into me like they can do something. It's like I will put you. I may be 30 with a wife, but I can still put you in the dirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I should also say as well, we had the other JJ who did a form with like letting people rank their own teams. We have those rankings as well in this, and they also were included in part of our.
Yeah, we got a pretty good consensus, but yeah, we're gonna rip some of these teams apart, which is gonna be fun. Yep. So we'll get to the number 24, the worst team, starting off with. Oh, I got to click on the slide so I can move it. We have Jeremoy. Coming in at 24, Haz, you had him at 23, and the consensus fan vote is 21. So let me pull up my notes. You want to start us off, Haz?
Yeah, I'll start off. So I think like these kinds of like semi-stall teams, they're just never going to be super popular in power rankings. Like my kind of issue with it is I think so. Celesteela Mega Dante, I think is a very good start.
I agree.
Like Celesteela with Z moves, especially has a lot of versatility. He did take it number 1 pick, which I think is kind of interesting. But if he wants to use Celesteela, I think it's definitely one of the best ones in USUM. So I mean, all the power to him. After that, he then takes Kyurem, which I'm a really big fan of Kyurem in Gen 8, but
Agreed.
Gen 7 Kyurem, it doesn't have Freeze Dry, it doesn't have DD, it doesn't have Icicle Spear, doesn't have Scale Shot. It's way less versatile in terms of what it can do. Yes, it can go both like physical and special, but its physical move pool is much weaker, and it's generally known for being like a sub stall set. Tangrowth and Toxapex, I think, is a decent defensive core along with Deoxys defense and Rotom Heat. His defensive core is like decent. It's just kind of predictable, and I just don't think there's just enough versatility within the team to where I'm like super confident about it. I think late pick Conkeldurr is definitely decent, and then he got Dugtrio as kind of his main speed, but pretty much his only fast Scarfer besides Dugtrio then becomes Kyurem, and then pretty much I guess Rotom Heat Scarf, but it's like it's so I think the team's kind of a bit underwhelming, but if this is the kind of style he wants to do, then I think the team can definitely get wins.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously the defensive core is disgusting. It's very stally, but I some of the things I wrote down. Dougie being his only ground type kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'd agree.
He's gonna have trouble with just U-turn plus Volt Turn, like just all the Volt Turn cores. He's gonna have trouble keeping pace with them.
Yeah.
But obviously he has free switch-ins. You know, your Tangrowth, your Toxapex. But like him gaining momentum and getting into his attackers of Diancie and Kyurem is going to be really difficult, I think, with this team. And then just breaking in general, because those are your only two breakers as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can whittle down the team enough for them to break, but just getting to that point, I think is going to be super difficult. And he's going to have to play. I mean, he's going to play predictable because of his cores, but like at the same time, like there's just so much pressure with those top three Pokemon to do something that I think if you build a team around, checking Diancie and checking Kyurem, I think you're going to be good to go against this team.
Yeah,
So
I would agree. I think his only momentum on is Rotom Heat, which I think is pretty. Obviously, he's got like enough bulk. Like
yeah, he can
you can
baton
use things
pass
to
with
pivot
Umbreon,
him.
correct?
Yeah.
That's about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that is true actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
because
can do that.
I just saw that somebody baton passed with Sylveon in a game
Yeah,
I watched. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot they could do that. But
yeah.
yeah,
That is fair.
yeah,
But
but again, you don't want to be. I mean, if you're bringing Umbreon and you're bringing Toxapex and Tangrowth and maybe Deox, like you're just so like you're just not gonna be putting out damage.
yeah, I would
But
agree.
I mean, I think that's the only
I
reason it's low. He's still gonna like if a team's ill prepared, he can easily beat them with just how
Yeah,
good the defensive core is.
yeah. I think there are certain matchups where this team can definitely shine, but I think there are other matchups where this team's just gonna struggle, and that's like with like so many like strong like teams in terms of like Mons, like it's like very fine margins essentially.
I agree. And
Um,
his hazard removal, is it only I can't remember because I know
it's
Defog got
Delmai's Rotom Heat, which isn't great because a lot of his Mons are passive, so it's kind of easy for his opponents to get hazards up, I think.
Rotom Heat does get Defog in this gen.
Yeah, it does get
Okay.
defog.
Gotcha. So but yeah, it's still not wonderful. I mean, a team and there's obviously not enough pressure on his side to
Yeah.
like stop people from hazard stacking and kind of, keeping that pressure
Yeah,
on.
he
But
he does have magic bounce,
yeah,
which
magic bounce. Well,
does help a
that's why I
bit.
wrote down. I put hazard control, magic bounce. Is that it?
Yeah,
like, but yep, I forgot about rapid spin from Delmise.
yeah.
But I just don't think Delmise is coming that much. But
I'd probably agree, especially with his
regardless, I think
Tangrowth
that's
as
why he's
well.
down here is just because his team's very one dimensional. So
Yeah.
all right, we can go on to the next one. That is Jeremoy. Next is we got Manly Soap and the Carolina Pangoros. Zoror, Skarmory, Keldeo, Mega Medicham, Crook, Sylveon, Uxie, Chandelure, Goodra, Whimsicott. I can start because I had him a little bit higher um, than most. I really like his attackers just in general. I think like the synergy between like Zeraora, Medicham, and Crook are kind of going to punch holes through teams. I think they're tough to prep for. But I didn't have him rated that high as far as teams goes. I just have some teams lower. Um, but I just think defensively, this team's going to be a little rough. Obviously, like Sylveon and Goodra, even Uxie, they're good. They're good walls, and Skarmory, obviously. But like I just don't think they do much in helping the attackers. But like I said, I think this is who I watched. In one of the games use Sylveon with baton pass. Like he's gonna have to do things like that in order to get to his wall breakers and his attackers. But I think it's a good team. I think he's gonna do just fine. I think he's gonna win a ton of games because I love Zeraora in draft. Obviously Mega Medicham something you have to prepare for, and Crocodile is one of the most easy to use and versatile mons in the game. So
My first thought of this is, wow, this is the greatest team built around Chandelure I've ever seen in my life. Double fighting I think is actually kind of respectable. I like
yeah,
Keldeo and Medicham, they are kind of different mons, with Keldeo being more of a special attacker and Medicham
yeah.
being more of a physical attacker. And the fact that they like can kind of break each other's checks, I think is kind of cool. My biggest issue with this team is, well, number one is the fact he doesn't have a grounded poison. He did fix that in transactions. I think he dropped Sylveon from Nihilego, which I do think makes this team a bit better.
I think it helps.
In terms of giving like a bit more hazard stack, like another like scarf option, another thing to like pressure fairies offensively, especially if he's gonna go with the double fighting. I think I'm not super high on how it's built around Zeraora. I think it's okay. I mean, I think Keldeo and Gen 7, I'm like kind of like iffy on. I think it's a decent mon. I just don't think it's like overly crazy. So that might be why I have it slightly lower down. Um, I think the team overall is okay, but I think kind of like you, I think defensively he does have decent pivots. It's just like how well he's just able to kind of use them. You know.
Yeah,
And
that was one of my things with Sylveon, Uxie, and Gudra. Like, I'm not saying they don't do the exact same things, but I just feel like they're three kind of very passive. Well, passive, just kind of switch ins and switch outs, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
I agree with you. I like the drop of Sylveon for Nihilego.
Yeah, I think this team can actually do decently well, despite maybe the week one performance, but especially with that pickup now, because he was like very very weak to fairies prior.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I think this team it's got it's got I think it has decent potential. I actually do like Yuxi on this team being able to pivot in the offense.
Sure.
Just because I think Zeraora and Mega Medicham really appreciate those kind of like
Yeah,
quick
you
switch-ins.
agree. You have to pivot and clean with those two.
Yeah, and especially because he has Skarmory, which kind of has the issue at times of like kind of like just being a bit passive in a way. So
Yeah, I believe
Yuxi being
his week one matchup he lost to Webs. I think. He
don't
lost his.
worry, don't worry. So we've all been. I've been here before, man.
No,
I know how you feel.
and I don't remember whose team it was. It might have been.
I think he played Clyde week one.
I think he played Clyde, and I think I have a surprise about Clyde here when we get to his team. But yeah, I think he just lost to Webs. I think Webs were set up, and that's why he lost. I don't think it was really necessarily the team's fault. You just got to have a decent prep for those Webs. You know all about that.
Yeah, I'm aware.
But no, I think he's gonna win games. Like I said, I think this league has a lot of strong Pokemon. I think a lot of teams are going to win a lot of games. It's just who's going to be consistent with their builds and who's going to be versatile enough to be able to switch their team up and catch people off guard.
Yeah.
But all right, we'll move on to number 22. We have the Dunsparcenal FC and Babalno. Yeah, there you go. I will start off with this team, I think, because I have them 11th and you got them 21st, and the fan vote was 23rd. Since I got them so high, which I don't know if I agree with my own ranking, because any team that has Darkrai for me, because I'm guessing this is Darkrai with Nasty Plot, correct? Or no Nasty Plot?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have Nasty Plot.
No Nasty Plot.
It's
okay.
No Nasty Plot, no Z. I think.
No Z. Okay. Yeah. So I don't think you should draft Darkrai ever.
So
I can't. I think Darkrai is always a dead mon on a lot of teams. I think it's very predictable. That's just but I think the rest of his team is fantastic. I really like his bulk with Zygarde, Jirachi, Tangrowth. And then obviously I think Primarina too as well. And then Beedrill and Rotom Heat to kind of pivot around and get around those bulks and get Darkrai in and get him in good situations to actually perform. But I think he made a transaction already, did he not? Did he drop Mienshao?
No, that was the other pool.
That was the other pool. Gotcha. Okay, good. Because I actually wrote down in my notes. I love Mienshao on this team.
I agree.
I think Mienshao actually like opens up this team a lot with its pivoting, with the fake out, with having fake out. I just really like this. I really like the team's. I think it's very balanced, and I think he can do a lot of different things with the Zygarde, Jirachi, Tangrowth core. But yeah, you can go ahead.
First thing I see. Yeah, actually, let's talk about the Z move user. Zygarde, very, very good Z user.
Agreed.
I think the fact he got it round 2 is like very.
The other one's Sawsbuck, is it not?
Yeah, the other one is the 1 point Sawsbuck, and I do think when everyone had so many points, I do think you do kind of have to rank teams down based on like where they take their cheat mons.
Sure.
Like I was going on with Jamoy about his Kieran pick being early because I think there's so many like other mons still around. But yeah, he could have taken the Sawsbuck right at the end. That's all.
Of course. Saying. Yeah.
I think my other issue is I'm not super high on the removal, especially because he's a Mega B. It's Mega B and Rotom, which is kind of suspect to me. I think the team actually is like okay and all in all. It does look a bit weird, which I think is why like people maybe ranked it pretty low. But I do agree. I do like the Jirachi Tangrowth Primarina Defendical. I
Yep.
think Zygon Mega B work pretty well together.
Agreed.
Mega B breaking out a lot of like the arrows resists for Zygarde. Um, if he has Z Source Spark, I think he's gonna bring it a decent amount. Which I got my questions right. I got my
Yeah,
questions
you
about this
should. You
Source Spark.
should. Yeah, Sawsbuck is an
Um,
interesting play.
Oh, actually, sorry. He has spin Torkoal as well, but
Yep.
again, like all three of his removal are weak to rocks, which
Yeah, which you
isn't
never
particularly
really
great.
want. Yeah.
Mimikyu later on is a decent pick. Would have been nice with a Z Crystal perhaps, but like I think he sat on this Soul's Bug, and you know what, man, like you go for it, go for it. Yeah, like I said, I think all in all the team isn't that bad. It just has like a couple of like slightly glaring issues. That like it doesn't seem like the most super threatening team initially. But I think he can get wins with it, all in all.
So, you can have two Rotom forms on the same team, right? Shouldn't be illegal.
I think that's Dupe's clause. I think.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I was just looking at the who's like what Pokemon are left in there on the draft board, and he could theoretically drop Sawsbuck and Torkoal for Rotom Mo, but just to have a different
Yeah,
hazard
yeah,
removal.
I can see that.
That's not weak to rocks,
Yeah,
but
but
just a
no,
thought.
I think he's too like like he wants that soul spark, and that's fair enough. I guess as well the Tangrowth it does give Tangrowth a bit more depth compared to like someone like Jamoy's team because it has the Sun offensive option too. But
All right,
like,
hold on.
why would you?
Let me fix this team
Oh,
one
go
more
on.
time. Let me fix this team one more time.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
We have Torkoal, 6 points,
Yep.
correct? Okay. What about Gligar? Does he get defog in this gen?
It does get defog in this
I'm
gen.
just
Yeah, you
saying.
could go Gligar.
I don't think Gligar really adds too many. Obviously, ice. You can
Yeah, it's
have
like the
a couple
ice
for
with
ice
the
spike.
Zygarde thing.
Sure.
Maybe.
But again, I just think it. I mean, Delmai's
Okay, yeah, I
even
can
an
see it.
option. But yeah,
Yeah.
just a few, well, Cloyster. Oh, geez, but he's not really hazard removal.
Nah.
No.
I'm sorry. Closer, he does many things like win DGBA titles, but when it
Yeah.
comes to removal,
Yep.
I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't. I just don't see Torkoal like bringing crazy good things to this team. I mean, unless like you're running some kind of chlorophyll Tangrowth, but I don't know. Uh, but yeah, I agree. I just think the hazard removal is a little rough, but at the same time, I think this team's gonna win a lot of games. I just think that core, the Jirachi Tangrowth Primarina having Zygarde, I just think it's a crazy core.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be really good. I just hate Darkrai. That's all I can say.
that's fair. That's fair. I think Darkrai is good on the right team, but
Sure.
I don't think it's around. I don't think I'd be like super. I'd be kind of iffy with it as a round one pick, depending on like what you pair it with. But I mean, if you really want to use Darkrai because you don't get to use Darkrai in Gen 7 a lot, then by all means go for it.
My biggest problem with Darkrai being that expensive, like of a pickup. I mean, I guess he has decent bulk, 90 and 90. But I just think you want
So
your.
it was actually meant to be cheaper, but like I was away. I was in Korea, right up until the day of the draft. I literally got back home and then immediately started the draft. And so someone else did the pricing for it, and it was meant to be slightly cheaper, but then it ended up just being 18. I was like too tired to change it. So
Yeah,
like,
just looking
okay,
in the
18,
in that 18 pool and even one up with the
yeah,
19.
I
Just,
think
whew.
I think it should be slightly cheaper,
Yeah,
but
but
like it's still a decent mon. I
yeah, it's a good
think
one. It's a good
it's like
one.
very good speed tier. So like very solid defensively,
Yeah.
and maybe you can run SC Darkrai like I did once.
Hey, it could put in the
Gotta get
work.
that
But
now.
yeah, I think he's gonna win a ton of games. I think he is.
Yep.
So I have a question about the graph on the screen. Is that how many
Yep.
first place, second place?
So this is so the fans voted from like they've rated teams from 1 to 5, and that's kind of how like they voted essentially.
Like on a scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah, a scale of 1 to
Okay,
5.
so he got a lot of 2s. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, heard. All right, we're on the same page now. But I like it. I think he's gonna win some games. But all right, we can move on to number 21. We have Coach Oak and the Ikitan Incineroar. That name rings so many bells.
Yep.
You can go ahead and start this one off since I started the last one though.
Yep. This team I've actually played already, so I think this is quite the interesting team.
All right, I
So
haven't
I
watched
think
that game. Can I ask? I'm guessing you got your butt kicked.
oh, bro. You know, I'm not gonna say anything. I'll let you watch the game at the end.
Yeah, I
It
haven't seen
is,
it yet.
it is a very funny game. I'll just say that. Okay, so he went straight in for the Zardex, and I think Zardex is like one of my favorite megas using Gen 7. I think it's really, really
I
good.
agree. I think it's
Just
incredible.
it's so hard to like defensively check. They're like it's pretty much like the water fairies, and that's kind of it because it sets up on a lot of waters and a lot of fairies
Oh yeah.
pretty easily, and like the dual stab, it's yeah, that thing's brutal. And then he decided to go with the defensive Ferrothorn, Gliscor, got quite a bit more bulk with Snorlax, Necrozma. Azumarill adds a bit more of the offense, and then I feel like he went, "Oh shit, I need some speed," and then went Jolteon, Gengar, Ditto to like kind of help with that, and then Rabombi
Yeah.
for the webs. Um, so it's actually kind of a weird one looking at it. My first critique on this team is actually I'm not a fan of the mons that were chosen as Z move users. I think Z Necrozma I think is really, really good. It adds a lot more value to Necrozma, especially with its offensive sets. If he wants to use it mostly defensively, then that's fair enough, that's on him. But I definitely would rank Z Necrozma over both Azumarill and Gengar, which you went for. Which definitely like kind of like put some points down for me. Um, I don't want to say the team's predictable, but I kind of feel like you kind of no, predictable is the wrong word because there are definitely mons that are versatile on this team. I just kind of feel like you know what, especially because he hasn't made the Cosmo Z. I feel like I kind of know like what the mons are kind of gonna do for the most part. Obviously, Gliscor can be versatile. Like Azumarill can go like with the like Parish Trap kind of thing. But yeah, that aspect of the team I'm not super high on. Um, I think as well he's pretty ground weak. I noticed as well, and I think he's like his only rock resist was a Ferrothorn. Uh, I think I had as
Yeah,
well.
no levitate Gengar. That's annoying still.
Yeah, unfortunately
Stupid
not.
game freak. I'm with you. I think it's actually very predictable. I just think in its predictable, it does it well. I think it's going to be
Yeah, I'd agree
consistent,
with that.
like
Yeah,
super consistent. I think Ferrothorn, Gliscor, Snorlax, and Necrozma, like they all cover each other very, very well. I agree with you on
yeah.
the Necrozma Z. Um, but I mean, I'm guessing the only reason he gave Azu Z was because
For
Z
belly
belly
drum.
drum, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
Gengar, I don't think it needs it.
no, I
Um,
don't either. I think especially with this team, I think like he doesn't have a ton of really good scarfers on this team, so
yeah,
I feel like
I
Scarf
saw
Gengar is just gonna
Scarf
be
Gengar as like its only set in this team, really.
yeah.
But
It is pretty much the scarf bot of
yep,
this team because he just doesn't have a ton of great scarfers besides I guess Ditto, but that one's kind
yeah,
of
and
like
I
a
agree with you that I think Necrozma would benefit more from the Z just because I think it's its only that's the only mon that can do a little bit of everything, and it
yeah
probably needs that. But the core, his defensive core plus Zard X, I think is kind of just what I wrote down, as far as my
yeah no
notes go.
absolutely
I think this is great, yeah. I just wrote this. If this team is gonna be good, Zard's gonna have to be the MVP.
yeah
Like Zard's gonna pick up all the kills. Zard's gonna create all the pressure. Besides like obviously Gengar, Jolteon, and Azu, but like Zard is gonna have to run this team, and it's gonna have to be built around Zard shining for it to do great things. But I think it's right there. I think it has all the
yeah
tools. I just think when you build against it, you need to know that Zard should be the MVP of this team. And you need to build a couple checks into it, and then you should be fine.
yeah
But I like the team. I think it's just going to be super solid, super consistent.
I think the team's like pretty solid all round. I
Yeah,
think yeah I think it was probably like when you look at it, I think an issue like because I was there during the draft and he kept picking Slowmon after Slowmon. I'm
yeah,
like, oh, where is your speed? And then at the end, he just like went like fully shopped out for all the speed that was left, kind of thing.
Yeah, and the only problem I have with Rabombi on this team, like obviously Webs is wonderful for like Zard to not have to set up like speed in any way. But like I just don't think Webs really helps anything else. Like obviously Azumarill can now outspeed some like faster walls, and you can run some, but like I just don't think a lot of these mons benefit too much from the Webs. But at the same time,
I would agree.
I guess all that matters is Zard at the end of the day, because that's what this team is built around and built to do. But if he can, I don't know if he can. I don't know how the Z crystal distribution works. If you could just pick anybody, or does it cost?
You can pick two.
You can just pick two. So then I would be I'd be switching Gengar off that straight to Necrozma.
I would agree.
And I think
I think the only other thing I think is that is only flying resist is Jolteon, which is that's a flying resist of all time.
Yeah, but Gliscor doesn't really care.
Yeah, depending on what the flying type.
Yeah, it all depends. Yeah, and there's not too many great
Articuno,
flying attackers.
Bro. If anyone drops an Articuno,
watch out for Articuno. But yeah, all right, we'll move on to number 20. We have the Montreal Giga Impact and Mr. Ratatamen. I haven't said that name in forever. All right, Mawile, Zygarde, Superior, Tapu Bulu, Starmie, Nihilego, Stunfisk, Incineroar, Reuniclus, Magneton, and Monferno. I love this team. I'm pretty sure that's what I wrote down is I love this team. Hold on. I should have got my notes a little more. There they are. Sure. I think the core of attackers is like super weird. Like Mawile, and this is Superior with Contrary, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
I saw how many points it was, and I'm like, that's got to be Contrary.
Yeah.
But like Bulu and Starmie, and Nihilego and Reuniclus even for your attackers, like it's really strange. But I think that this team, as odd as it is built to let like Superior and Zygarde shine. And I think Mawile is a little bit of a decoy. Like obviously Mawile is fantastic, and it's like the best mega in the game. But like teams are gonna have to prep so much for Mawile because I almost had to bring 2 mons for Mawile. You have to bring 2 checks. You have to bring if you don't have like a surefire counter for it. And I think Zygarde is and Superior even are so hard to prep for and so easy to let loose, especially having Tapu Bulu. I'm guessing because Grassy Surge, right, exists still in Gen 7.
Exactly,
yeah, and having the terrain is so good. And then I love Starmie and Nihilego. I don't know why there's a Stunfisk looking at me. But he exists. Incineroar can obviously bring some things to the team. So can Magneton. I think this team is really cool. I think it'll be fun to use more than anything.
I would agree with that, yeah.
But yeah, I just think Mawile is going to allow Zygarde and Superior. I think you're going to see a lot of Zygarde Superior sweeps because teams didn't prep hard enough for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think people might look at like 15 points Superior and go, oh, that's kind of a lot. But I've noticed, especially watching a lot of Gen 7 like games like that I've been played more recently, that Superior just goes in on so many teams.
Oh yeah.
Like teams that like get worn down, their grass resist get worn down, Superior just eats them alive. And it has like so much versatility as well.
Yeah.
But it can kind of do it can just do a lot of things for the team.
Yeah, Subseed and Glare as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mawile Zygarde definitely a very strong start, I'd say. I do kind of agree. I think this team definitely like Zygarde's more of the star than Mega Mawile, but because it's a Mega Mawile, it'll still definitely kind of do work. I can definitely kind of see it going 1-for-1 quite a lot, but
I agree with that.
I mean, for certain teams that maybe like if he does end up playing it well enough, then I think it can end up being like a pretty solid mon. I think my issue with Mawile on this team is I don't think there's enough pivots into it.
I agree.
He just doesn't get it in easily enough, so I think it's just gonna end up being a bit of a 1-for-1 kind of mon. So that's kind of my issue with Mawile on this team, but I think the rest of the team's pretty solid. I just want to say, Rattataman, I see you, bro. I know. Okay, so he has Mawile, Zygarde, Sup, Bulu, Starmie, Nihilego, fine. I see the second half of his team is hard counter picks, bro. People might be. I think that's why the fans maybe rank this the lowest team because they're like, What
All
on
right,
earth
I
is
need you
happening
to
here?
explain the stun fist to me then, please.
I think he wanted another electric check. I think because I should also say like a bit of a thing because I don't know if you're aware of this. So prior to the start of the season, I wasn't actually me. It was someone from DGBA staff put out a form that asked people who they wanted to play in the season, and I think the second half of the team is like a lot of mons to counter the picks that Rattata 40 might face.
Gotcha.
Um, so I think that's definitely why the team kind of looks a bit weird. Obviously, like things like I mean, Renaclus is a Renaclus. It's like it's gonna be good,
Yeah,
especially
agreed.
Trick Room for more while. Like there's
Yeah.
like nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I think that's kind of why he's drafted those kinds of things. Like Stunfisk is like it's seen as like a decent electric check, and it's also a decent like flying resist, for example. Um,
So
so
you don't think the Bulu Zygarde Superior is enough of an electric check?
well, for certain electrics, maybe not.
Sure,
But
sure,
yeah, he
sure.
just wanted because like I guess like hidden power fire or
Yeah,
whatever. But
and Bolt Beam too, just in
yeah,
general. Mons that win
yeah,
Bolt Beam.
exactly. So,
Uh, so I'm looking at the pool.
but I will say Mike was in my DM today crying about the fact that Rattata stole his Stumpfist. So maybe he just did it because he just doesn't like Mike. Which fair enough.
Wait,
Man,
hold
fair
on.
enough.
If you do something like that to Mike just because out of spite, I'm here for it. I 100% support the stun
Yeah,
fisk. But here's the question for you. So in the 6-point category, where stun fisk resides, there are options
yeah,
like if you want electric resist, there's options like lantern.
yeah.
That gives you a different bulky water than like because like your bulky water right now is Starmie.
Yeah,
And,
I like Lance a lot as electric
and if you want to get
resist.
a little weird, you can run also a Galvantula in the 6-point tier.
Ooh, yep.
And
Get
you
those
give yourself a
webs.
webs option for
Yep.
superior. You don't have to worry about something, coming in and out speeding you. Zygarde it helps out too. Bulu it helps out in that, more mid speed range. But just two thoughts, you never know.
Yep.
Just two thoughts. I'm sitting here
Yeah,
trying to
no,
improve people's teams. I'm only here for a day, so but if you're gonna
that's
if you want team advice, I take hourly pay now. I'm not this shit ain't free.
fair.
So, but all right, we'll move on to the next one. Well, go ahead.
Actually, I have one more critique. So
Sure.
I know he has grassy terrain, but this team is so ground weak, it's ridiculous. I know he's like the Superior and the Bulu are literally the only resist. And he has loads of mons that are weak to ground, and because Serp and Bulu share a lot of similar weaknesses,
All
I
right.
think that can be exploited.
You're totally right.
So
Now let me fix that. 6 points, Gligar.
yeah, we're sending Gligar to every team.
Yep, sending Gligar to everybody to
Gligar for
help
you,
out.
Gligar for you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like I said, not the next hour. You're starting to pay.
Yep.
These all these helps aren't free. But all right, next we have number 19. We have MX3 in the AFC Ajaxorus. I yeah, I probably say things wrong. You guys have all these
Yeah,
European Football
I
Club bullshit.
like Iaxorus.
Ajaxorus, yeah, I said it, and I'm like, that's not right. I've been
Yep.
yelled at before, like 15 years ago for that. All right, you can go ahead and start this off. You got this, and the fans have this ranked a lot higher than I do personally.
Yeah, we probably have like I think it's okay all in all the team. I'm not like super high on it. But I think it does have a pretty strong defensive core. So he got Landorus first pick, which interesting enough, Sheer Force Lander becoming a lot less popular in Gen 7, which I find pretty surprising given the fact it was like banned a lot once
Yeah,
upon a time. I think part of it maybe just because of like recent gen bias, like Landawine Gen 9 just isn't really as good, so maybe that's kind of like seeped into people's thoughts.
sure.
But I think it definitely can be like a pretty solid round one pick. He follows it up with Aerodactyl, which I was a bit surprised he took that round two, but obviously it gives him like an elite speed tier of 150. And like Mega Aerodactyl can like pressure the grass types for Landorus, which I think is
I think
pretty
Aerodactyl is
decent
gonna
all
get.
in all.
I think Arrow's gonna get dropped though. Did you watch his first game?
Oh, bro, that thing not reliable, man.
Get some
Oh
glasses.
my lord.
Either buy glasses or drop
Yeah,
that man.
bro, you know what? I think I drafted Mega Aerodactyl on DGBA like 2 or 3 times, and bro, this thing I think hit Stone Edge. I think like 2 or 3 times. It was bad.
It's quite
man.
unfortunate.
It was bad.
It's quite unfortunate. But
I
go
think
ahead.
I think he got like probably the best possible pick in round 3 for him vote in Rotom Wash. I
I
think
agree.
Rotom Wash is great with those 2 mons.
Yep.
And then Weavile as well. It gives him a lot of really good speed, which given like I've said previously, some teams have like pretty like iffy speed tiers. Having like 2 really like elite speed mons is good. And then interestingly enough, so Weavile Cobalion, I think both these are really good Z users, but his Z users are Landorus and Volcanion. Now, Landorus I can kind of see, but you do want to run it with the Life Orb a lot to get the
Sure.
most out of that sheer force ability. And Z Volcanion, I mean, I kind of get it, but like, I think Weavile and especially Cobalion, man, because Cobalion with Z allows it sell up it's a lot for it to be a lot stronger. So I'm definitely way more pro Z Cabalion
I
than
agree
I
with
am
you.
Z Volcanion. But maybe he just wants to melt me with Volcanion. You know,
Which
maybe he's done his homework.
Which I will laugh at.
Which which is fair enough. I think the rest of his team's pretty solid. I think Steelix is like a become like a super popular mon in Gen 7 these days.
I
Just
remember
being able
running Mega Steelix well. I love Steelix in general.
yeah.
But
Yeah. And then Comfy as well gives a lot of like utility, which is nice. And then Gudra for 7 points, I think is decent value.
yeah, I agree.
And then I think Roserade gives him like spikes and stuff.
Yeah. I think I had this team. So I had a lot of teams that like around the same tier. I kind of rated them out of 10, and I had him as 7 out of 10. The team's good. I mean, Landorus plus Rotom Wash is like the most OU of OU of OU ever. That combination. And adding Aerodactyl into that with Rotom Wash obviously is just fantastic. And Weavile Cobalion, it works like you said well as well. I agree with the Z users. I think Volcanion probably benefits from items more than he does a Z Crystal, and I think Cobalion almost needs a Z Crystal
I agree.
to help with his damage output. But my only issues really generally with the team, if I can remember, I think he has good momentum into breakers, into his breakers. I just don't think he has like any real walls. That was kind of why I rated him so low. But then I watched him play his first game, and I don't think he's going to care. I don't think Gen 7 needs walls either.
No, I think his team. It's definitely a more offensively like leaning team. So and he has enough speed to where I think he doesn't need like super hard walls
I agree.
necessarily. I think he can use a lot of stuff to like soft check.
Yeah, and I need to remember how Gen 7 works. Like, you don't need walls in Gen 7 because Z moves exist. Like, you're not going to see these long, drawn-out battles where Mons can just switch in, out, and then it's hazards. It's breaking what you can't break with the Z Crystal, and then you go. And this team is going to do very well at that. Trust me, I watched his first match. He's going to do very well at that. I can already see it. So, well, unless Aerodactyl misses 4 stone edges in a row again. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the only other critiques I have his team, I think maybe it needs another fighting like something like a Mega Glade is like pretty iffy for this team to switch into. I think it's literally just comfy. And then the only other thing is like maybe arrows, like Rattata and Zygarde. I think someone else had picked up a Zygarde 10%, which is why I'm bringing that up. But yeah, arrows resist not super hot. But yeah, besides that, I think change your Z users. If you want to drop Volcanion, let me know. I'm all ears.
So something he could do then, just looking at the draft pool, if he doesn't want to use Cobalion in that way, he could pick up something like a Mesprit, a Salamence.
Yeah.
Just if he doesn't want to use Cobalion with the Z Crystal, then you think you can pick up that slack somewhere else. You know, a defensive Salamence could work perfectly. Intimidate, there's your fighting resist, and then obviously Mesprit could work. But yeah, just some 10.1 for 1 changes.
Yeah, I don't hate Mesprit on this team actually, because like if he is gonna go with like a more offensive like pivoting strategy, then
Mesprit does that very, very well for sure. All right, we'll move on then. I think we see this team doing good things though, especially after watching his first match. I think he's going to do just fine.
I'd agree.
But next up, we got KHG and the Jersey Pursuit. I love that name, by the way. The Jersey Pursuit is fantastic. Oh, it's the Decidueye team. So we have Mawile, Zapdos, Infernape, Latias, Mamo, Crobat, Seismitoad, Decidueye, Umbreon, Venomoth, Machoke. You can go ahead and start off because obviously I have a lot of Decidueye talk to do.
Notice how I stick to the DGBA laws and you don't. I see a Decidueye and I put it last and you don't.
Yeah, I know. We're changing.
Man,
and if you guys haven't watched a DGBA video like from a long time ago, if anybody drafted that thing, I put them last. That's my thing. That is the JJbizzle way. It is what I do. I hate Decidueye. I think it's a terrible Pokemon. It looks cool. Had a lot of potential.
It does look cool.
But it's terrible in draft. I think it's horrendous. But go on. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so we have another. I think this team is definitely built a lot better around Mega Mawile than maybe Rattataman Seedmods. I'll say Rattataman Seedmods was bad because I think that was more built around Zygarde. But we have he has his main pivot, I think, around with Zapdos and I guess the Decidueye. Maybe
baton passing Umbreon
enough.
Yeah, if you squint,
yeah,
look.
and Umbreon, yep. And then I think he has a mon that can break steals very well in Infernape and obviously Mamoswine. Very, very scary mon to switch into. He does have double ground as well, which I think is pretty nice with Mawile. Latias as well, giving possible healing wish, so it gives Mega Mawile another like chance to like destroy teams, whilst also like again resisting a lot of things that would kind of want to like hit a Mawile. So that's pretty nice. Crobat, I assume he got for speed, which I think is fine enough speed. Decidueye, man, it was going so well, and then I'm not super high on the last few. Obviously, he got Machoke because of the memes, and that's fine. Venomoth, I think. I mean, I think Venomoth with Z actually low-key is kind of a sleeper pick, but without Z, I just don't think he has enough power to really.
I agree.
Do all that much, and I assume he got that as a grounded poison, but I think people are gonna want to bring T-Spikes versus Team. His team's actually not super weak to T-Spikes, so it's like it's like okay enough. But
yeah, he has enough in the air, and then the mons that come in and actually take T-Spikes just get out anyway. Like they don't stay around that long. So
yeah, so it's just the second half of like a team. I'm not if I mean could be a Decidueye is a fine enough pick. It's just
no, it's not.
Okay. No, sorry, guys. Sorry.
It's not.
I tried KHD.
I got KHD. But hold on, let me fix him real quick. Love this team. I agree with everything you said. I think the versatility around Mega Mawile. I'm a huge Infernape stan in draft.
Yeah.
Because he can just do everything, and Latias as well. And then obviously Mamo's a great breaker. Crobat can do 90,000 different things. Zapdos can do 90,000 different. I love the versatility. Seismitoad even can be a little bit versatile, but regardless, I think he needs something. I would love to hear his reason for Decidueye, and why he did it. If he just wanted a ghost, that could be a thing. He saw a little bit of a fighting. Well, he didn't see a fighting weakness. He has a Crobat and a Latias and a Zapdos. So I don't know what he saw. Regardless,
to be fair, I've just noticed that pretty much all of his fighting was just like all weak to ice. So
that's true. That's true.
Might be a slight
so again, here, let's play another round of Let's Fix That Team. This is very simple. If you go to the lovely Pool B draft board and you look at something defensive that can cost you 10 points, because we can get that Decidueye and Machoke out of here, right? It was a great meme.
Oh, he's got to keep Machoke.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. It's a great meme. You drafted him. You get a hand clap, and you did good. But okay, I have two. I'll even let him keep the Machoke. I have two different options for him.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
So defensively, you get 10 points back for dropping those two, and there's a Deoxys defense right there in Pool B.
Yep.
Or wait, did you mess this up?
It's in Pool B.
At the top of Pool B, it says Legacy Draft Pool A board.
Oh, hold on.
But that doesn't matter. I don't think that matters.
Yeah.
I don't think that matters. I think we're still good.
I've literally only just noticed that.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh god, yeah.
I'm out here fixing
Wow.
fixing the DGBA. I just got back. This is my first day back, and I'm already fixing everything. Um, but yeah, I think Deoxys defense, even Togekiss is sitting right there. But if you want
Yep.
something super defensive that I think can help out your team a little bit, take some hazard pressure off certain mons, I think Deoxys defense is right there. But if you want to stay at 9 points and you want to keep your Machoke, there's an Amoonguss up there. Grounded Poison helps you out with that Venomoth situation. Fighting resist as well. But again, weak to ice, kind of like you were saying. But I think the Deoxys defense really makes this team like where I put it, which was 10th, in my opinion. So that's why I did it.
And the Decidueye makes it 24th for me.
If I was going into my ranking thinking he's gonna listen to me and put the Deoxys defense on the team. So that's why it's 10.
Right, okay.
It's 10 with Decidueye off. 24th with Decidueye on. So I think we're there.
Understood.
All right. So we'll move on to the next one. We have is that a Sean? I'm guessing. How it's pronounced?
Sean.
Yeah, with the LA Charizards. I'll go first on this team because I love this team. And I think he's in Pool B, correct?
Yep, he's in Pool B.
He is in Pool B. Okay. I just have my notes are sorted. You have a lot of teams. You made me freaking write notes for 24 teams.
Yeah, I know. It's
I didn't even get paid for it.
I didn't expect that many people to say yes to this. That's kind of what happened.
I know, and you didn't even ask me. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, I didn't ask you whatsoever.
To be fair, okay, I'm gonna bring the mood down a little bit. Okay. But my mom got diagnosed with cancer last month.
So I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's go the recovery. We're working on it. But I was not ready. I probably wouldn't even have joined. Honestly, I probably would have said no.
No. No, that's completely understandable.
Yeah. So I was a little busy. But anyway, I love this team. I think this is how you build around Celesteela. I think it's actually going to be put in its role where it's actually going to do what Celesteela needs to do. With a breaker like Zardex, like I love those first two picks in my opinion. I think that's like an amazing start, and I'm a huge fan of the cost points of Pokemon like Galvantula, Donphan, Conkeldurr, and Azelf. Like I think they do really good utility things for this team, and obviously Slowbro and Roserade defensively are fantastic too, with Mandibuzz. I'm not a big Comfy fan. I see people draft it, and I look at it, and I just think like, hey, you're not going to do much. But then it like will sweep a team every now and then, so it is what it is. But I love the flexibility of this team and how easy it's going to be to build each week. I think that like you're never gonna have an issue putting 6 Pokemon on this team and building them well against another team. I just think he has everything covered, in my opinion.
Yeah, Comfy's one of those ones where, in theory, like it seems bad, and like every time I use a Comfy, I'm like, man, this one's bad. But then it can always kind of do something in a matchup because it just has so much random like utility.
Yeah, it has U-turn too as well, correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's U-turn, it's defog, it's like seeds.
Trust me, it's not a bad like. It can do just a little bit of everything, Mon. I just don't think it like shines at one thing great. But it's not bad for its price point.
Yeah. I thought I'd put this team higher than I ended up doing so, and I do like a lot of like the aspects of this team. Like you said, Celesteela Zardex, very solid. Roserade, Slowbro, Core. I think I drafted all 4 of those first 4 mons in the DGBA season once.
I don't doubt that. That sounds like a core.
Yeah. And then Comfy Mandibuzz, very solid. And then Galvantula for webs and giving him a bit more speed is I think it's decent. I think I agree Conkeldurr's like a very good value on here. And then Donphan, I think it does its job, It's like it's fine, I think. And then Azelf, I think he like very badly needed like the speed.
He did.
Azelf, so
I agree.
I think it was a decent pickup. My issues with his team is kind of the defensive aspects of the team. I think I'm trying to remember specifically what it was. I think I think he has 1 ice resist, being Slowbro, which I mean Slowbro, that's a good ice resist, but if it's your only ice resist, teams can kind of pressure through that, I feel.
Sure.
I think he has I mean, to be fair, a lot of teams I've noticed have Ghost Resist, but like the amount of good Ghost types in Gen 7 is like Gengar, which is like, I don't know, I think Gengar is kind of whatever. So like it's technically weak to Gengar, but I think he can kind of manage that okay enough. I think what was the other one? I think was it? Oh, flying, right? It's only flying resisted Celesteela, which obviously Celesteela like very good flying resist. It's just like you kind of want it to have as much flexibility as possible. So maybe another flying resist would be nice. You could say he's weak to fire, but I think Zardex Slowbro's like dead decent enough fire resist. I think he's fine
Can
in
can
that
can we
aspect.
can we explain the odd no? Like why?
Um. Oh yeah, he has Ordino, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
rolled right over
yeah.
that.
I think it is just there to wish pass essentially.
Yeah,
I did actually use an Ordino during Gen 8. I've actually found it. It's like so the way I see Ordino, it's a really good blanket check to a lot of random things, and then like you wish and then you pivot out essentially.
sure.
Um, yeah, it's a really good mon to scout things. That's how I view it. And I guess because you're slow, bro, it's kind of a regen core, and I guess it gives Celestina a bit more longevity. So I don't hate it all in all. Like maybe 5 points is a lot for it, given the fact I think Licky Licky's 6 and
Yeah,
Blissey's also
I'm
5.
looking at that the 5 point pool, and like there's just so many more mons on there that I like so much more.
Yeah, no, I can get that.
I'm a
I do think Ordino does have value, but I get what you mean.
I'm like looking at his team a little bit, and just like I like Alomomola more there.
Yep.
I think the wish passing, and it gives you just a few more different things. I even like Quagsire more, but I understand it a little bit, not wanting to
Yep.
double up on waters. But I mean, maybe even you're talking flying resist, Stack Attacka exists, but obviously you're not getting that wish pass. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just think there's more value there than odd no.
No,
But at the same time,
I think that's fair. I like it. It kind of depends on like the kind of player you are. I
sure,
think if Isham wants that kind of like wish backbone, then I think Ordino like it does the job.
yep,
That's how I view it.
I don't disagree. Yeah, and I'm always looking through these teams like with my prism who I'd like to play with, and I don't think I would ever draft an odd no. I'd probably draft a Celigor more just because I like some of the techs that a
Yeah, no.
Celigor brings with his speed
I
and final gambit and things like that.
I think there are certain teams where Ordino like really kind of probably doesn't do anything. I think this team it's okay. That's
Yeah,
how I view it.
I don't mind
I
it.
think if he didn't have Celesteela, then I probably would be with you. But if he wants Wish Pass and he wants you Celesteela more defensively with a way that he can like heal up with it, then I think that's fine. I think Orno gets Healing Wish as well, which is kind of nice for this team.
True.
Healing Wish into Zardex,
Yeah, I
very
don't mind
strong.
that.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't mind the odd no. You could talk me into it. I don't think it really is that consequential. I think this team is just gonna be all how you play it. I think it's gonna
yeah,
be super easy, but at the same like easy to play, but hard to master.
yeah.
You just need to that Zard and that Celesteela gotta shine. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Number 16. Oh no. We have
Oh,
has. Oh
here we
no.
go.
And
Here
the
we
fans,
go.
this is see here's my problem with the DGBA. You asked fans to vote, and because who you are, you get the fan cheese vote.
Oh
They
no no
they
no no! We'll get to the fan cheese vote, bro.
this
Because
is
I have a
all
vote.
fan
No no no
cheese.
no no no. Do you know who the fan voted number one? I won't say who it
Oh,
is.
hold on, let me think. Who the
We'll
fans
get
would
to
have
it.
we'll get
We'll
okay.
get to it.
I don't even
We'll get to it. We'll
know.
get
That's
to
why it'll be a fun surprise. But
it.
your
Yeah.
team sucks.
Okay. I
It,
mean,
it,
you know what? You know what? I actually I kind of struggle to disagree.
it's okay.
I'd go a bit. I think it's kind of mid, and so I'll just say I think the way I thought about this team after I draft it, this team seems very confused.
It
That's how I view it.
yes,
It
yes,
is
yes.
it has a identity crisis.
Uh,
That's I think the issue with the team.
so what I wrote down, I think you can break
Yeah,
any team. Period.
sure.
You have Cart and Coco. Like, good luck.
Yep.
Like you got those two are going to be insanely, and you got Uxie to kind of support them. The rest of the team, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Yo, okay, all right. Let's hear it.
I don't mind Nidoking. Obviously, Nidoking is good in draft always. If you get it in its good spots, it's going to deal lots of damage. It's going to do good things.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Seismitoad fan. It gets rocks.
I'm a huge Seismitoad fan. So
that's if you know how to use them, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just not my cup of tea. I love Buzzwole. I think he's actually super underrated. And I like the low picks. Like I like them individually. Muck with Arcanine. I love Arrow's utility, and Alolan Raichu can do some things, sure. But I just think together, there's no defensive core altogether, in my opinion. I think you're weak to flying pretty bad. Like your resist is what? Coco? An Aerodactyl?
Coco, Arrow.
That's not
Alolan Raichu.
Alolan Raichu, mate.
Yeah. When I pull up with like
bulky
Alolan Raichu for the Tornadus matchup,
I love it. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, you're gonna break teams down just by your offense. Like your offense is incredible. I guess you only had what 3 points for a mega pick. At the end, I don't mind Glalie. I think Glalie can do some things because I love low megas, but I just don't understand. Like maybe you can shine some light on this team for me.
Okay,
I just don't understand what you were doing after the Kartana.
Okay, I will try to explain my thought process with this team. I'm not going to defend it massively because I'm not high on the team as well. I think the team's okay. My number one issue of the team is that it's a type of team that needs more than 6 mons because the defensive utility of the team is spread out between a lot of mons. And that's kind of my fault because when I took Kartana, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try draw Kartana without getting a second steel type and see what happens. I gave myself that challenge. I'm like, so I was like thinking maybe I get a stack attack, and I thought about it a bit more. I'm like, man, stack attack is really bad. I'm just going to run no other steel type besides Kartana and see if I can make it work. And also, I wanted to draft a lot of mons I hadn't used before in Gen 7. So Kartana, Uxie, Nidoking, Buzzwole. I haven't used Mega Glalie, but I just got Mega Glalie because it was spikes plus I thought offensive ice type to pressure grass.
Sure.
Grasses would be valuable. So I guess you're asking where the defensive utility, like the defensive core lies. My main defensive core idea was Uxie, Buzzwole, Alolan Mark, and then I guess Aerodactyl laughing as the
it exists.
The flying resist. I'll be honest, okay, the flying resist. Yeah, that's completely fair enough.
Struggling over there.
No. I'm trying to say stuff. I'm trying to say stuff about. I don't want to out a lot of ways. I feel like most defensive checks, I think I can. So this team is weak to certain mons, but I think I can offensively check them, or I have very very niche counters to them.
Oh, I agree.
You can argue that's not great. Like you can argue I would much rather have a mon that can comfortably switch into such and such, and you know I can completely get that.
You're gonna have to win with offense, for sure.
Yeah. So it's this is like the only team I've really struggled to think of because there's like 50 billion things I want to say about this. It's definitely the type of team that I think it needs a good pilot. I think this team really needs a good pilot, and it needs more so acting the prep than the player. I think it comes down to how well I prep with this.
I agree.
I think it has a lot of tools to succeed. Like Coco Kart, I think a lot of teams are really going to struggle to check them both.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how to do it. That offensive pressure is nuts.
Yeah, Uxie was mainly just that. As soon as I was like, I'm probably not getting a steel type. Like Uxie, welcome, mate. You're my new steel type. It's it's. I've got a lot of mons that can kind of blanket check. certain threats. That's kind of how I'm planning to use it. My number one issue when it comes to building, I found, is like I need more than 6 mons, and that's kind of where I think this team kind of goes down a bit. But I think
actually,
I
you don't want to
think
give that up. I was going to ask you like, what are your issues building, but you don't want to give that up to all of the DGBA.
Yeah, well, bro, I play Pack tomorrow, for example. So I don't know when this is gonna come out. So
yeah, got you.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think I can kind of understand both sides to it. Like it's very good offensively. Like it's I don't think it's horrible defensively, but I can kind of get what you mean in terms of.
So my question for you, in playing the lovely game of Fix That Team, is how attached are you to Alolan Raichu and Mega Glalie?
But Mega Glalie not at all. Alolan Raichu, like in terms of a meme value, sure, but yeah, you can get rid of it.
Because just for those, so like I'm looking in the 7 and 8 point pool in that area. Mega Aggron.
Okay.
Exists. No interest in Mega Aggron.
I mean, I could. It's just it feels like a weird fit for Mega Aggron.
I don't disagree. I was kind of going to pivot off that. And I was looking at Registeel as well as like the solo fitter. Then maybe you could trade in something else for a Mega. But at the same time, I think it's tough because like I was also looking at upgrading. Like obviously you love yourself some Seismitoad, so I don't want to take that away from you. But that's the only thing I could really see to get you that steel type would be like a Mega Aggron in that area. I mean, you can even go like an Electros, but that's kind of stupid. Nobody likes Electros. Rhyperior exists, but he's a thing.
But steel types aren't real, mate. Like
that's true.
Just need live with it, man. Live with it.
Yeah, or
live a bit more like myself.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I totally agree with you. You have enough offensive pressure for you not to care. You need more like pivots and things like that just to. I mean, your top 3 are wonderful. I just think the bottom part kind of gets confused, but I think you're going to be fine. I mean, you're good.
I think Nidoking's pretty good with the top 3, I'd say.
Yeah, offensively for sure. And I like Arcanine a lot, and Aerodactyl, and even Buzzle with this team. I like this team more than I thought. I just hate Seismitoad.
Seismitoad, Matt, Seismitoad is so good, man.
I'm willing to be changed as I watch the season unfold. But that was also I was looking at these teams and I was like, who's worse, Haz or Jeremoy? And I was like, you know what? I won't be that mean to you.
Thank you. You're so I'm touched. All
right, we'll move on. That was that might be a little heinous. I might have been rude to your team there, but
it's completely fine. I kind of knew that it was like, bro, I don't have
it's definitely weird.
JJ's gonna
it's weird.
No, it's weird.
But it can work. But it can work. But it can work. All right, we got Parksy coming up next in the Armadillos. I can't talk. Armaldos. I can't talk. Talking's hard. I can start a little bit with this team. I think this team's fun. Like it's weird and I like it. I like Finny, Rachi, and Tornadus. Like that core you could bring every week and they could do so many like different things. And be just you're gonna set those 3 Pokemon on your team every single week, and then build the rest, right? In my opinion, Terrakion as a breaker is good. I love myself some Cloyster. I think he's super underrated in draft. He can just sweep teams if you get him in the right area. He is the actual winner of DGBA Season 1. If nobody knows, he got the final sweep in the championship matchup. I think I won in like turn 10 with him. But yeah. That also my team was broken. That year was hilarious. But yeah, so one thing I wrote down, Cloyster automatic +5, obviously, but it's Parksy. So minus like 4,979 points in my book. That's why I have him so low, because it's Parksy. No, I'm just kidding, Parksy. I love you. But no, it's a good team. I think it's just good, if that makes sense. I think Alolan Persian might have a lot of and maybe I guess he has some Tornadus and Jirachi U-turning abilities, but it's a fun team that I don't know if it will shine. I think that's why the fans got him in that 3 area out of 5. Like I think it's right there for
Yeah,
me.
I think I would agree. This is the most like free team I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I think Torn's like a decent start. I don't think it's as good as it is in like Gen 8 and 9, but like Torn, it's like a mon you can't go wrong with. It's
No,
like it's a very strong base of the team that you can build around. And then you
agreed.
went Finny, Nidia King, and Jirachi, which I think defensively is like very solid. All 3 of them like bringing like decent utility. But then you're kind of like, okay, but like, where's the offense coming
Yep.
from this team? And then Parks, he's like, you know what, guys, I've got you all. I've got you all. Let me get round 5 Heliolisk. Now, okay, look, I'm all for thinking Heliolisk is a steal at 4 points. I get it. I get it. It's definitely decent value, but round 5?
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like you just pass up on like a lot of other like really strong mons, like for a mon that he could definitely have gone a lot later. Now I think he did get sniped or something, and that's why he was like, "Oh, screw it, I know I want the Helisk, I'll get it."
Sure.
But then here's the thing, right? He in typical Parksy fashion, he's panicked and decided to drop his whole team. He's dropped the fucking Heliolisk.
He dropped it?
He did all that for nothing. He dropped it. He
I
fucking
mean,
dropped it. Parksy.
That is the most Parksy thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I actually, we'll get into this because like afterwards, I feel like pretty much his whole team changed down. So let me get the trade. So
Please do.
first of all, I think he traded Hughes. We'll get to Hughes' team, but he traded Mien Chao and Lycanroc for Tracheon and Diggersby. So now it's Mien Chao, which I think it was a really good fit on this. I think it was a better fit than Tracheon because if you aren't gonna Z Tracheon, then I kind of think it does lose some value. Like Tracheon's obviously still a good mon, but I think I do think like Mien Chao, pretty solid pickup there. And then they got Lycanroc as well, which I think for 8 points is again decent value. If you wanted that offensive rock type, you kind of keep that.
So he traded Terrakion and Diggersby, for Mien Chao and Lycanroc.
Lycanroc, yeah.
Okay, and then he dropped Heliolisk and picked up who?
He drops Heliolisk. He drops Mega Sceptile. Oh, actually, no. He actually drops me. I've just talked up this Mien Chao only for him to drop it. And
wait, he dropped Mien Chao after trading for it?
Yeah. He traded for Mien Chao and then immediately dropped it. And then, unfortunately for you, JJ, he's dropped Cloyster as well. So those 5 extra points, just rip them, take them off.
Okay, I'm 18 down to 24. You just moved up a spot, Haas. Congratulations, you're 22 now.
Yes.
What is he doing? He just blew up his whole team.
Okay, and now he's picked up Breloom,
I actually
Mega
like Breloom.
Manetric.
Okay.
Porygon 2, which I kind of like on this team.
Okay.
And Zygarde 10%, which I think maybe that might be a matchup thing, possibly. I guess it's decent speed as well. I'm not a super big Zygarde 10 fan, but it's like it gives him decent speed here. Unfortunately, I don't have any notes for his like new team, so I have to go back to his current team.
Well, yeah, he just changed everything.
Yeah, for his current team is, bro, this team hard loses to Trick Room. His slowest one is a Cloyster. Now, that might be very not like you might be like, oh, I mean, Cloyster, it looks kind of slow. It's base 70 speed. He doesn't have anything below base 70.
Yeah, that's crazy. It seems fast as
something
shit.
like a Reuniclus. Oh, good golly! Like his Dark types are little potion.
So since we know his new team, his special attackers are Mega Manetric and Volcarona, and that's like it.
Yeah.
Besides, like obviously Feeny, Nidoqueen, Tornado, like all they're not like full special. They're not special breakers by any means.
Yeah, I mean neither Queen you can do if you spec into it hard enough.
I know, but like
it can probably pass.
But I see like his top 4, like obviously those all can be special attackers, but they all do different jobs so much better. You don't want to do that to them.
I think it's usually matchup dependent. Like Vinny can go like choice offensive. But
for sure. Yeah, I mean, they all can. Interesting. I actually like his new team better. I don't like Mega Manetric that much in draft. It can do some things, but it's not like my favorite.
I mean, if it was dropped on the Heliolisk, I mean,
that's true. That's true.
Only way is up. The only other things I had was that he was really weak to ground. He was really weak to fighting. Um, and yeah, I think yeah, like I said earlier, I think the top four is like solid defensively. It's just offensively, it's like compared to other teams, right? I'm comparing this to other,
Yeah.
like if the power level was less crazy, then it would kind of be a meat point. But like, yeah, it doesn't blow me back as being crazy. So he's I think Parksy went for an interesting strategy where I think he got like a very solid core base, and then he got a lot of like these weird breakers.
Yeah,
Essentially,
I love his core too. Those top four, I'm in love
yeah,
with, and then it's just like okay, the rest of it's like interesting, to say the
yeah.
least. But yeah, I'm with you. But we can move on from because I mean his team changed so much.
I do agree. The new team is better.
Yeah, I like the new team better too. So the next we have the Inglewood Infernape and King Clyde the Glide himself. Um, Interesting fan votes on this team. The 2 and 3 is full. Wait,
Yeah.
is this? Wait, this is my team. Hold up. This is my boy Clyde. I have him first in the league. I just looked at his team again because I forgot what I wrote down, and the first thing I wrote down is I love this team. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, sorry.
it is very, very you.
Here's what I wrote. My first two sentences. Who let this man cook? And looking for holes? None. I love this team. More like this is a JJbizzle team if I've ever seen one. Lando and Manaphy with some fair. Defensively, his team's fantastic. He has tons of bulk everywhere. I love the Mega Sableye on this team, and I did watch his first match that he played, and I think he pretty much dismantled his opponent as well. I love Rabombi plus his Xurkitree. I think Xurkitree is only draftable with a Websmon of some sort. I know I drafted it a few times back in the day with my lovely Vanny that I always draft. But I love Kyurem and Victini offensively together, and then you throw Lando T on there who can put on like 80,000 different hats on any team. Porygon 2 defensively with Mega Sableye is fun. Please show me a hole. And you put this 20, so I would love to see your hole in this team.
Sure. I mean, to be honest, I am probably higher on this team than this 20th, like, probably says. My couple things is, okay, Webbs looks incredible on this team. I think he's a bit too reliant on Webbs. Like, the natural speed is Rabombi, which I don't think's, like, a great revenge killer. And then Tornadus, which is like, Tornadus is okay. It's like, it's fine. But then and then it goes down to the Victini Manaphy. So I think faster teams can kind of exploit that aspect of it. In the fact that he's probably gonna have to bring Webs more likely than he otherwise would. Again, I am gonna flog points. I've told Clyde this, and like he said he really wanted a dragon type that wasn't weak to ice. Which, I mean, if that's what he really wanted, then that's fine. But I think round 2 Kyurem is just too early for Kyurem. My other aspects of the team is that I do like the first four, like, even though I'm not a fan of Kyurem like when it was taken, but I think Victini, Manaphy, both are like very solid mons. Manaphy obviously with the Z, given that Z Rain Dance is like it does give him some sort of speed control. Ferrothorn, Porygon 2, Sableye. I think Ferrothorn's fine. Porygon 2, Sableye does make the team a lot slower. Which I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I love with like the rest of like the team of like the how at least I envision it. But maybe that's just because of a difference of playstyle kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I think that's a playstyle thing.
And then the rest of the Mons, I kind of just feel like are fine. Obviously he got Rabombi for the webs, which I think is good, but is a bit over reliant on. Circuitry again really likes webs, but I think that's it. I think people might be able to pick up during as the season goes on that how reliant like webs are for him,
Oh, for sure.
and that could cause some issues. Bronzong, I mean, sure, why not? I mean, if he probably just had the spare points, and
that's my guess.
yeah. The only other things is I think there's only one dark resist. Being Rabombi, which I'm sorry, Rabombi. Look, Matt, look, Rabombi. I know how much you'd want to carry this team with like the webs and all, but I'm not passing you off as a dark resist. And then I think was he weak? He was weak to something else. Oh yeah, right. He doesn't have a poison type, so he is T-Spike's weak. Which I know people say, oh, he's Mega Sableye, but I feel like versus some like poison types, one, he has to Mega Super early, in order to get around that, and two, like Mega Sableye can't switch into every single poison type. So I think that can be pretty exploitable as well. I think his removal as well was like kind of it's like Torn, Rabombi, which isn't great, and Landorus, which Landorus is a good remover. It's just like, do you want it to be reliant as being a remover, especially when you have like Kirim and Big Tini as well? So that's kind of the issues I have with the team. I think he'll get wins. I mean, he's already gone one. I think it's solid, and if there were like one or two tweaks to this team, I'd put this a lot higher.
So talking tweaks, like what does Bronzong do on this team? Like, what am I even looking at as far as?
I think he was gonna drop it for Sylveon, and then he undid the thing. I don't know. I think that maybe it's a matchup thing. I'm not sure. But,
okay, I was gonna because I'm just
he was
looking.
Gonna drop it.
It's 9 points, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and he has 1 point left.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I was looking at like Togekiss. You're talking Dark Resist, Cobalion as well. Is interesting in that field. You were talking grounded poisons too, Scolipede kind of.
Yeah.
But he exists. But yeah, I think so my only thing with his defensive core, Porygon 2 and Sableye, I agree with you. They don't like switching in like to everything. But what I like about his core offensively, Manaphy, Victini, and Landorus, is they're always they can always U-turn out and they can always move. And they can always move quickly. And I like the fact that all of his attackers are bulky as all get out. Obviously, Victini and Manaphy are base 100s across the board. Landorus is always a bulky mother bleeper. Kyurem is fat. It does miss freeze dry in this gen. I think that kind of does suck. But like, I just see him being super consistent with this team. And I've used a lot of these Pokemon in draft. And the consistency he's gonna find, I think, is gonna be just super fun. I think he wins the league, if I'm being completely honest.
Fair enough. I think the front four is definitely a very like nasty call. It's just the back half of the draft. I think he maybe could have made it. He could have made it more efficient. That's the best way.
I still think he can. You get a lot of free agent moves. There's so many good Pokemon on the board still that I'm looking at. It's kind of crazy. Because even looking like I don't know if Nihilego got picked up. I think he did. Because I don't think this board's updated, right?
No,
get picked in Pool B?
Week 1. Yeah.
Okay, so I was just like, yeah, maybe Nihilego. There's so many pickups you can make, and he has 1 extra point to use too, which is huge.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll move on. Clyde, I love your team. Congrats, you won the league. So, next we have. Oh no. We have the other JJ.
Oh.
We have the other JJ.
Enemy number 1.
No, he's not an enemy. He said you asked him to play as a replacement for me, which I respect. I think he was joking, but regardless, we have the DC Umbreon here. I rate his team. I enjoy it. Let's see if I can pull up his notes because he's in what? He's in
B.
B. Yep. Okay. Obviously, Gliscor Toxapex is a fantastic core. I think them two together really allows Mew to not be pigeonholed into defense all the time. I think he lost his first game. I think this is where I saw the Mew get Gigavolt Havoc, and he lost it. But I think Lopunny on this team offensively with Hydreigon backing him up is huge too. I don't really like Chansey, but that's a minor nitpick. I'm just not a big fan of those fat pink blobs. But I think he has good momentum. Obviously with Mew, Gliscor, Hydreigon to get into people like Lopunny and Tapu Bulu and even Gengar. Obviously has the setup potential with Volcarona. I like his two steel types in the back with Sharp and Magnezone. I think they can come to a lot of matches and do things. And my last note on this is, although he's the Teemu version of JJ, I think he's going to do well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think no. Yeah, would it be crazy to if I told you that I was planning on getting Gliscor Toxapex on my team,
I don't know.
and then
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
yeah, no, I'm definitely a fan of that defensive core in general.
I agree.
And
it's
then
wonderful.
And then Mew as well, very very versatile. We know.
Yeah.
You got Mega Lopunny with Hydreigon, which is like a dark type to pressure the bulky psychic types.
Yep.
Mega Lopunny's in a pretty interesting spot these days. Where I think, like back, I feel like when we played, that was like a round 1 pick.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely been slept on a bit more. I think people just run like fat helmet mons these days. So Lopunny gets a lot less value than it maybe used to do, but I still think it's definitely one of the best megas in Gen 7. I think Bulu as well is like I think people may say, oh, you got Bulu with Gliscor, but I agree with JJ that like okay, obviously, like it hurts Gliscor in terms of versatility of running offensive sets, but one, like Gross Trent isn't always going to be up, and like two, I don't think Gliscor cares that much about the slightly weaker Earthquakes. Like there'll be points where maybe it ends up being it ends up coming into play, but it's like it's not a deal breaker for me. If you had like a Landrush, for example, then that would be a much bigger deal breaker.
Yeah. I think
Gengar, this.
Go ahead, you're
sorry,
good.
go on.
No, you're good. You're good. You can finish.
Gengar, this is Scarfbot 2.0 on this team. It and Hydreigon, I think, are like the only mons I think a lot. I think one of those will be Scarf on this team every week. Which I mean, it hurts Hydreigon a bit. Gengar, I mean, Gengar's Gengar, you know. Chance, I actually I don't mind Chansey because it's 4 points. Like, I used to be pretty anti-Chansey because it used to be like tier 1 or whatever in like the GBA or back in the day. And I like you're spending a tier 1 on Chansey, like come on.
Yeah, 4 points
4
is nothing.
points. Yeah. It's like it forces some prep and like people who don't respect it can get punished by it.
Sure.
That's how I view it.
I agree with that. I think we can both agree that though this is just like an all-around solid team, correct?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. And then he got Bishop Magnezone, which I think they both do completely different things for steel types. Even Bishop does a different soft Hydreigon. He's got double duck as well, which is nice for Lop.
Yep.
And then I'm sure Magnezone was more like a matchup thing for like certain steel types.
I think all we can say is this is like the fan vote, 14, you're at 14, I'm at 9. Like that's right in that middle ground range because I think it's just a solid team.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, we can move on. We have Mike coming in at number 12 on the board. The fans love this team a lot more than I do, and you're right on the point, right at 12. Now it is Mike. Like I think we can start there.
It is Mike.
It's Mike. That's all I have. No.
Well,
I love the Volturn.
I noticed no Drapions on this team.
True. No Drapion. Yeah, he died quickly.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Drapion. I love the Volturn into his breakers. Obviously he has a lot of that. There's no like really frail attackers outside of Beedrill. Like I think he's got good bulk with his attackers, and I love bulky offense. It's probably my favorite way to play. Solid walls, like they're all good. Kofag, Milo, and Florges, like they all do their jobs. This team just didn't wow me, if that makes sense. But I think it's super solid. Again, like I don't mind it at 12 because I think this team could be easily top 10. But it's Mike, so easily bottom.
I mean, I put it 12 for a reason because it to me it's like average. I'd say. It's and to be honest, the first like 6 or 7. I was like super high on it. Like getting round 6 Zapdos, I think is crazy.
That is crazy.
I kept losing my mind because I had the Tapu Koko, so I couldn't. Maybe I could have gone Zap. Who fucking knows? But like,
I would have. Screw it.
yeah. But oh man. So yeah, that was definitely a lot of like good value. Kelly, I said before, I'm not super high on it in Gen 7, but if you really wanted, that's fine. Hydreigon, Mike, I'll give you 20 quid if you let me take Hydreigon off you. Metagross, yeah, again, reasonably solid mon. So yeah, I think they all mesh well decently
Yeah.
together. It's a lot of like Volt Turn, which I with Mega B as well, which I think is pretty solid.
I agree.
And then the last part of the draft happens where I feel like he just picks up Mons because he likes it, which is fine, you know. I mean, I picked up Mons because I wanted to try them out. He picked up Mons that he just kind of wanted to use, which I think is fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement. I feel like Pythagoras and Milotic are kind of just there because
Yeah.
you have spare points.
I think they're just there to be walls, and he's just like, look, I have them. They exist.
No, I'd agree with that. I think the other issue I have is Rockers are Metagross and Lando. I think maybe one more Rocker. Like
Yeah.
they're like decent enough Rockers, but maybe there might be some.
Yeah, I don't
matchups
like rockers that do other things like 90,000 times better than having a stealth rock slot, you know. But I don't mind it either. It's not terrible. I like I said, I think 12th is actually pretty solid where you have him. And I think the fans are high on it just because it looks so good. It looks so balanced and just like really solid. So
yeah, I agree.
All right, we'll move on to number 11. We have Pac-Fan in the Green Bay Leaf Packers. I love Pac-Fan. That's my guy. Been here forever. You know, I love this team.
Yeah, he's I think the only person who I think's from season 1. Well, I asked 4 season 1 coaches. 3 of them left me on red.
I didn't leave you on red. I just didn't read it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
to be honest, I don't think the others read it as well. But
yeah,
you know.
we're all busy. We're old,
Yeah,
man.
I'm
I'm 30. I'm about to turn 31 in July.
Oh, boy.
Actually, I'm in a month because today's 14th. Anyway, I like this team that it's so versatile and it doesn't rely on T-Tar Excadrill because T-Tar Excadrill obviously is like a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Everyone knows T-Tar Excadrill exists, but I love that obviously Thundy does what Thundy does, but Infernape and Mew can put on so many different hats to let T-Tar drill do things, and then defensively Suicune, Amoonguss, Mandibuzz exists. I don't care about Deblade and Shiinotic. They're down there. They can go away. They might come here and there, but
yeah.
I don't really like Mega Altari either in draft because I think it's pretty one-dimensional. But the first 6 Mons I think was an incredible start to a draft, and then Amoonguss Mandibuzz I like too. So.
This is I think this is actually one of the only drafts I had influence with because I spoke to Pack a bit about this draft. I think is like very good. I have like one massive issue with the team, but besides that, I actually really like this team. So yeah, like you said, Mew and Fernape, 2 really good, flexible, versatile mons. Fundy T, I think for 12 is like very decent value in terms of like as an electric. I think it's only 12 just because like these days in terms of like tournament play. Like you can only draft a certain amount of mons, and then lots of other like more popular electrics, which has made Fundy T like go under the radar. But in a league like this, where it's like there's 12 people drafting, and it's like and you can draft more than 8 mons.
Sure.
I think Fundy T's value at 12 becomes way better. And then the Sandcore, I think, it is definitely very solid with this, and then he paired it with Suicune Amoonguss, which I think is like those two work very nicely. I think Suicune is pretty underrated in these days because like that thing has the potential of sweeping so many teams.
Oh yeah, if you're not prepped for it, they can't sweep, no problem.
My issue with Mega Taro, it's like good at like loads and loads of things. It just doesn't do anything like well enough. That's kind of my issue with it.
I agree.
Like it just has loads of middling stats, so it just ends up being like an okay-ish mon. Like it definitely can be good. And I think on this team, it like a lot of like steel types are pressured pretty well from Phone Ape and Extra Drill.
No,
So I
for
think it
sure.
definitely can succeed,
Yeah.
and it's like 8 points, so why not? But
No,
yeah,
I agree.
then Mandibuzz as well, decent defensive core. I do agree, Doublade, Shinotic, kind of whatever. Um, my issues with the team, my number one issue with the team is I think it's a hair too slow. I think it relies a bit too much on the extra drill T-Tar for the speed control
That's fair.
because it's like Infernape's the fastest one, and there's a lot of other teams. I think it's pretty much it's the slowest team in terms of like base speeds. I think
Gotcha.
this team.
Yeah, there's
So
definitely a lot of
that's like
pressure
my
on Thundurus and Infernape, like to be like Scarfers.
yeah. Yeah,
For sure.
I think if he replaced Doublade or Shinotic, I assume he got it just to patch up maybe like defensive issues with the
Yep.
team. But I think maybe if you just got one more Mon, like you replace that with like one more faster Mon,
Yeah. Like
probably get a bit more value.
what's Doublade's points?
4 Shinotic's 1.
That puts you in a Selgor range, which is interesting.
Yep.
You can also, drop both of them and pick up something for 4, and then, there's this Pokemon in the 2 range, I believe, that has sticky webs. That's really good. Called Levani. But I just just a little Vanny truther out here. It's
Gotta spread the propaganda around.
I mean, Levani's never failed me, so. Yeah. But no, I just think this team's really solid. I think it's gonna be fun to build with, fun to use. And I think I watched his first match, and I know his Thundurus, dodged 3 Stone Edges from a Aerodactyl, I believe. I think that was the match. But he made some tough calls on against the bulkier team, and I just don't think he never had the momentum on his side to do things. So, but regardless, I think he's gonna have a good year. I like this team.
Yeah, I've got to finish prepping for this team right afterwards. And, yeah, this team definitely is pretty annoying to prep for.
I bet. Yeah, there's a lot of different things it can do. But all right, we'll move on to number 10. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is actually an interesting one between me and you. You have this team rated second, and it's the Decidueye, so obviously you don't understand the propaganda and how it works.
No. It was like it's just KHD, man. It's just KHD.
Oh, just because. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so that was just a person issue.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But go ahead. You can start since you have this thing so high.
Yeah. I think this team has issues. This team has flaws, but it's like I think it just has a load of like really like solid mons that work well enough together that I'm pretty high on. I think Garchomp, Mega Sizzle, like very decent start. I think he gets a Victini as well, which I think Victini's like very good pairing with those two. Funny gives him some speed. I think the number one issue with this team, similar to Pac fans, is that well, maybe not as bad as Pac fan, but it's like maybe you could do with another fast mon. But I think the aspect of this team is definitely like bulk sustain and then pivoting around. This I especially kind of noticed that with his first game against Jack. Like he pretty much just managed like Jack, who had so much speed on his team. We'll get to his team, but like Ian managed to pretty much out sustain him and kind of win through that, and that's kind of how I kind of view this team working. I didn't really see any like glaring defensive issues with the team. I think every mon can kind of do something. I mean, Decidueye, I mean, he's just there for the ride, but I think every other mon, I think, is I think every other mon can contribute in some sort of way. I mean, it's like I know I put number 2, so I should be like sharing this. This is the greatest team I've ever seen, but I just think it's just very, very like solid, and I think for Ian it definitely suits him very well.
Yeah, and I think it might just be a player. Like for me, I don't think it's like. I wrote down that like it's gonna rely on Sylveon and Bronzong a lot, like on the specially defensive side. Obviously, like Garchomp and Scizor and Victini, and even Tentacruel can be super bulky on the special side, and that's fine. This team seems to like, so I like bulky offense, and this team kind of seems like it's more Well, obviously, I mean, it's kind of tough because Mega Scizor is like the epitome of bulky offense. But
No,
it just seems like it's a little too timid for me on that side.
yeah, I can see that.
But again, if the player is used to more bulky defense, wear you down, and then bring in the Mega Scizor slash Victini slash Garchomp and then clean, that's fine. Like it's just not my like how I like to play or my play style. But it's I mean, obviously it's a good team. Anytime you put Garchomp, Mega Scizor, and Victini on the same side, you're pretty much good to go. I think he's a little ground weak looking at that. Um, and then having Tentacruel in the back, Sylveon gets hit, Miltank gets hit, you know, uh, could be an issue, but at the same time, like, you know, if you're a good player, you can play around that. But I did write minus 1,000 points for Decidueye. So that's probably why I have it so low, because you can
I get that.
instantly drop it and make the team better. So, but yeah, otherwise, I mean, the top 4 are just like you can't you're complete you can't go wrong. You're completely fine.
No, I do definitely get the fact like it's not the most offensive team in the world, especially on the special side. I think it is pretty much Fondy and then Victini in some matchups. Bro, maybe this is where offensive Decidueye comes into play. You know,
I don't think so. I don't think that exists.
Decidueye? Nasty Fault Decidueye?
No, get it out of my life.
I think every like I like this is like one of the few seasons where I feel like everyone does like contribute like a significant role to.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's probably why
I don't know if I watched his match, but he already played, right? Did he have the special Victini that just clicked Blue Flare the whole game and he won? Was that the match?
It was Scarf Victini, and it pretty much came in every time like Jack went Skarmory.
Yep, and then it just kept clicking Blue Flare and just whittled. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. That's kind of how it went.
But like I said, or when we started this, all these teams are going to depend on the pilot. It's just this is not a team I would like to play with because it just seems a little too passive for me. But it again, Victini, Scizor, Garchomp, you can win the whole league with that trio. So, but all right, we'll move on to number 9. We have Luke and the Denver Big Nuggets. I love that team name too. I had this team pretty low, so I can start. I think obviously Tornadus and the Tapu Fini core is very good. I think I sleep on Weavile a little bit myself, just because in draft I think it can be pretty counterable, but it hits like a truck. So in the right pilot's hand, if they know how to use it, you're going to be completely fine. Especially offensive wise, I think this team's lacking. Obviously, you can bring Fini and Tornadus, and you'll be going to be fine. But Raikou and Nidoqueen are the 2 main special attackers of this team. I think that's a little rough. And he is a little weak to Bolt Beam, but who isn't? I think most teams are. You're going to have to rely on Cresselia to kind of eat those special hits. I love Mega Kangaskhan just in general. Like, I think it's still a value where it sits at 10 points. The only problem I have, like, looking at his team, and you draft Groudle and Simisear, why? Like, those 2 points can be used for something better, like a Leavanny. Of Leavanny propaganda. But I just don't I don't think Webbs is really necessary on his team though, so like I'm not gonna like I mean obviously I think they help Terrakion a bit, but it just I don't know. This team's just odd for me. I just don't think it's great at one thing, but it's good at a bunch of stuff. So that's just where I was.
Whether actually, I mean, I was kind of like in the middle. Like this team, I just don't have a ton of flaws for, but I'm more in love with it. It's like how I view it. I think it does the job solidly enough kind of thing. I think like in terms of like Weavile, Torn, Raikou, Terrakion speed, like. I think that's gonna like cause a lot of other teams a lot of issues.
True.
I think Weavile is definitely pretty solid.
It is
in draft for 14 points with like ice priority. A lot of teams are like I feel like in draft do end up being ice weak, my team included. But so yeah, that definitely can have a lot of value. I do agree, like especially offensive wise, it is kind of relying on Raikou, Nidoqueen a bit. I just realized this team is like really similar to Parksy's in a way,
It
but
is actually, yeah.
I feel like the team like Parksy. I don't know what he was doing in the second half of the draft, but I think Luke, it kind of like makes a bit more. I kind of get what he was trying to do with his team
Yeah,
more so.
I don't mind where
Yeah.
Raikou, Kang, and Tarakion and Cresselia fit on this team
Yeah.
because I think they all bring something to those first four that or first five, I should say, that bring value to the actual team. So I don't mind it.
Yeah. So, I do have some like defensive issues with this team. Like,
Yes.
okay, so are we gonna pretend that Grotto and Simisear aren't Mons? Is that
Yeah, I'm not even looking
this?
them. Yeah, they're not. They
Okay,
don't exist. He has 2 points to use wherever he wants. That's how I see it.
the only water resist is Finny. The only fire resist is Finny. And he's really really ground weak, which I assume is why he got Cresselia.
Yeah, Cresselia tries to fill a lot of defensive issues.
Yeah, I think that's why he's got Cresselia to kind of like be a blanket check. Similar to why I got Yuxi in a way. Except like Cresselia has slightly more longevity.
But he's still kind of technically Dark Weak. I mean, Finny's really only his. Well, I mean, I guess Tarakion and Weavile kind of, but
yeah.
still
Weavile not really, but Trakion's it's like
not terrible.
Okay enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting build. I like, again, it like a lot of these teams. There's so much power on each team. I think it's all just going to be on the pilot, and I just would not like to pilot this team that much because every week I feel like I would look at it. Every week I'd look at it and be like, how am I breaking this team with special offense? And I'd be like, I don't know. Yeah. I had no idea.
Well,
so
I can get that.
But that's just me. So we'll move on to number 8. I know we're going to be coming up to more consensus big board teams. The fans really loving this team. We have the San Antonio Spores and CMR. See if I can pull him up real quick on my list. I just need to use the control find feature. How's that?
Yeah, well, actually, no. That's probably a useful thing.
Well, it just blew out everybody's eardrums because apparently it didn't work. Doesn't matter. You can go ahead and start if you. Oh no, I got it right here. We're good. I like this team. Right. The only issue my first sentence was threats on threats. Like when you have Kieran Black, the ANSI superior in Lando, like good luck defensively prepping for that. That is crazy. And I think I did watch his first battle. I think he used Magnet Rise on his DNC and Reflect. It was pretty disgusting.
Magnet Rise, Reflect.
Yeah, that was dirty. I just like support wise on this team, it's a little scary for me. You're relying on Persian, Mesprit to do a lot of, and I guess Rotom even kind of on the side, because I think Rotom's actually slept on a little bit, even by me. But I think Persian, Mesprit are going to have to do a lot of things to get in those threats clean. But again, if he does it well, he has the breakers to break any team easily. So that's all I really got to say. I like the team breaker wise. It's just Persian and Mesprit have a lot of lifting to do on this team.
Yeah, I can see that. I used Rotom once in DGBA and I brought it to every single like game. So I'm very, very high on Rotom.
Yeah, I like Rotom too.
Good. You know, it is pretty funny how Lando I in the other pool goes round 1, and here it all the way in pick number 6.
Yep,
is where it goes, and he has it with a Kieran Black and Mega Diancie.
Yeah,
and Superior. Oh,
yep.
Yeah, that is
those 4 to prep for defense. Good luck. You have to beat this team by punching it in the face first.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Heatran fan, but I think it's like it does the job well enough. Yep. I think my issue with it is just it feels just a bit too slow for me. But I think on this team it's relatively fine. Yeah, I think like on paper I'm like I think this team is very, very scary. Kind of the issues I have is number 1. I think it's instant revenging in terms of speed is a Alolan Persian, and okay, so Superior's like good speed, but it's not always the greatest revenger depending on what the mon is.
I agree.
Because it's like it's not like strong, it needs the boost in order to build itself up. In terms of like cleaning, but revenge killing, it's a bit more suspect.
I think you're going to see scarfs on Heracross, Landorus, and Kieran Black a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So he's a bit more reliant on the scarfers. I don't think he has a rock resist on this team, which is interesting.
No, he trans
Which
neutral.
usually I'd be like whatever, but we've seen a lot of offensive rock types getting drafted.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
this 'cause
and to be fair, his ground resist is dog water too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
just a couple levitates, and then because just going back to that first game, like he got to the point where he was gonna be in trouble with a ground type attack, but he had Magnet Rise packed on D'Ancy, so
Yeah,
hey, more power to you. But yeah, I think this team's great. It's just the utility is going to have to be good between Rotom, Mesprit, and Persian. But I've already watched the first game and he was fantastic at it. So
I think he can make this work.
I mean, you can make any team work with the core 4 attackers that he has. That's whoever let him get those core 4 is insane. Like, I guess that just goes to all the power that is in the league. So, but I guess again, when you have Heliolisk going in round 5 and then Lando goes in round 6, like, you just got to roll with the punches. But all right, we'll go to the next team.
Parksy knows best.
Parksy does know best. We have Spoink here at number 7 in the San Fran Spoinkers. So I like to start because I'm going to roast you for a second. This is how you do Kartana and Tapu Koko.
No, bro. I spoke to Spoink yesterday. I was like, who do you think has a better team between me and you? He said himself, and I was like, yeah, I think yours is just a better version of mine.
It really is. That's exactly what I wrote down.
I agree.
So my first sentence was bulky offense with utility of Savali. Sign me up, because. Well, but outside of Tapu Koko is like is the only non-bulky offense. But D-Knight, Buzzwole, Reuniclus, and Mega Chomp with Klefki and Spikes with Quillfish, and Savali's kind of doing, he can do it all. I am in love with that. Sign me up for this team every day. I would play with this squad. I'd probably not pick Tapu Koko, but that's neither here nor there. Just too fast for me. I don't like that. I don't like that much speed. But yeah, this is just your team. Fair. This is just your team, just better. So
I do have some issues with it. It has different weaknesses to my team. I feel
here. Number one, you're gonna list off all these weaknesses, and I'm gonna answer all of them. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, yeah, sure. It's like Coco into Silvally, so. I feel like Kartana's going to be Scarfer. He doesn't have the best Scarfers on this team.
That's fair.
I would say.
Scarfer Uniclus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Scarfer Uniclus. You got me there. Okay,
yeah, you forgot.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Fuck. I think defensively, I can see a couple of issues. Obviously, Silvally can that is why he's drafted it, right? It's like the de facto defensive check to a lot of things, which I think in Gen 8, obviously it gets the attack boost, and that's when you see, I think, Savali's full potential offensively.
True.
But I think for this team, it being a defensive bot, trying to fill in the weaknesses of his team is fine enough. So yeah, if he does use Savali well, I think he'll have a decent season. If he doesn't, then then I can see him run into some problems. But no, I mean, I do like the team. I think I do really like Dragonite, but it's not a Z-Mon, so I do wonder maybe if he could swap it out for something else.
Yeah, I was looking at, because the Z-Mons are Coco and Kartana, right?
Yeah, I think if Dragonite was Z, then I think there's immense value. On this team, it's fine. I'd probably just get another fast mon over Dragonite, maybe.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem I agree with you completely. Having Z crystals on Coco and Kartana is kind of it's not that it's redundant, because obviously both of them having is nice, but both of those are coming every week for the most part, right?
Yep.
So obviously you can keep the opponent guessing, hey, both these are going to be on the roster every week, and but whatever. I just think Dragonite could probably benefit a little bit more from it. I would agree with you.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I think the fact he's taking Dragonite late is just it means he's gonna want to bring Kartana Coco a lot more than
I agree.
Dragonite. So where maybe that's where he gets a point to kind of fix the other issues of his team. But yeah, I think generally it's a pretty solid offensive team all in all. Well done, Spoink. Your team's better than mine.
It is. I just think offensively this team's going to be crazy. And just the pivoting of Savali, I love it. And then the extra bulk from Mega Chomp, like I would love to have this team. And then Klefki obviously can do some things and with some spikes and things like that. Quillfish as well. I think he could use a little bit more bulk. I was kind of looking like trading in like say Dragonite for something a little bit more bulky, but there's not really much. I mean, I guess theoretically he could go Deoxys Defense too in his pool. Suicune obviously is there too, but yeah, there's some things he could do. But if he doesn't want to play like that, then who am I to tell him no? If he's trying to go hyper offense and beat teams quickly, that's hey, you do your thing. But next up, we got the Los Angeles Larviters and Mr. Jack here. Fan vote got him number 1. They love this team.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying, man. You're saying I got the fan vote. This dude, like.
Well, to be fair, it's warranted. No?
You have him 20th.
I'm saying for him. I'm saying for Jack himself.
Sure. But you're meant to do it on the drafts, not the player.
Yeah, fair. I'm with you. I agree with you because the only thing I hate about this team is one guy, and I think you can pick him out. And that's Darkrai existing.
Sure.
It's just I love everything about this team, and I think that something not named Darkrai could fit better there for that amount of points. That's just going to be my opinion generally. Anytime Darkrai's drafted, I think something better can be there. But I don't mind the team. Like it's a really good team, and Jack's going to probably use it well because it's Jack. But yeah, the fan vote just absolutely number 1's crazy. But
I'll start with this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Jack took the lane once he got Zara Darkrai's. I'm getting all the speed, my friend, all the speed. So all these other teams I said previously, like iffy speed, which has been quite a few at this point. I brought up quite a few. Like Jack's team, like that's probably where he's gonna shine in quite a lot of matchups. Is the fact that he's got so many fast mons that I think teams are gonna struggle in terms of that. They're gonna be forced to bring quite a lot of Scarfers into this, which I mean, I think he can like kind of pivot around that decently enough.
Yeah.
My issue with the team is I think I don't know if it's the best Zera team. Like defensively, of course, he's got like a whole load of ground resist, but like his way of breaking like bulky grounds like Serena Piloswine. I mean. That's okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be Darkrai. Really, he's just gonna try to click Dark Pulse and break it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like I think I do like Dom on this team as well. Actually, I think Dom's a pretty strong.
Yeah, I like it too. I actually that was the first thing I wrote down was his low tier picks are really good. I actually really like how they fit on the team. Piloswine and Quillfish and Serena, Togekiss, Darm. I actually really liked what they bring to the top 5.
Yeah, I'm big on Quillfish. I think Serena does do like enough decent stuff for the team. In conjunction with Quillfish, I'm not a huge Serena fan, but it's 6 points. It does the job.
I just think like in the second round, like if you get. I'm trying to like look at like the stuff for 18 instead of Darkrai, like special attackers. I'm just stuck on that, man. I just think they're so much better.
It does kind of put the team in the weird direction. I do kind of agree. Yeah, and that's so it's like all in all, I think the team is like it's pretty good. It's got like a very very high upside in terms of like its speed. It's got a pretty good bulk core in Skarmory, Latias. That's like a pretty proven solid core.
Yep.
I think he dropped Togekiss for Primarina, which I guess helps with like, that's an offensive water type to break ground. So
wait, did he really?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, I love that because I was literally I was looking at the point board and I'm like, I would love a good water type on this team. I think Prim actually fits that really well.
I think Prim's a great.
Nope, he fixed it. I'm back. I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in. Get off 20th. That's rising for me. That's really good. I think that helps a ton.
I agree.
Now he has a good team. Now I lied. Except for Darkrai. Get that out of my life.
Yeah, because I could see some fighting types kind of like maybe mauling it into like five types of ice coverage, but now with the Prim, I think
Well,
he has
even
kind of
even
enough
with like
for it as well.
knockoff, like
Yeah.
fighting plus knock really kind of hurt this team. Besides, like obviously
Yeah.
Skarmory exists, but you can abuse Skarmory on the other end, switching
Yeah,
it,
I think
switching in something good
which
to
is
it.
what I feel like we saw in that first game in
Oh,
terms
was
of like
that was against
Skarmory.
Jack, right? Yeah, because the Victini
Yeah,
kept coming in and clicking blue flare.
yeah, the Victini,
Yep,
yeah.
gotcha. But all right, we'll move on. Jack, good team with Primarina. I agree.
Yep, I
Next we
agree.
have the Argonauts and the Chell sinking PC. You guys and your football stuff. Anyway, yeah, you have him third. So would you like to? Oh, and the fan vote fifth. Maybe this is on me. Maybe I'm just down on this team.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm never wrong, so that's not true. But
Okay, this team definitely has issues. I'll say number one, good ice type that can cause this team a decent bit of problems. But what I do like about the fact is I think he's got like a very solid offense, and I think his defense like I think he has like enough mons that can flex defensively to where like you can kind of get around most matchups. I
yep,
think. Like so, Mega Glade Greninja, I think that's a really good start. I think Greninja provides speed, utility, able to break down the bulky psychics for Glade, able to pivot around. He then picks up Nidoking, which I mean, I picked up Nidoking, so I'll back him to pick it up too. Again, it pressures the fairy type for Glade. Very good ground type as well. Then picks up Fundy as well for the Z Crystal. I think it's definitely one of the strongest Z users in
I
the
agree.
format. Just because like it just has so much like flexibility and versatility. It has like such good coverage that it's really hard for like a team to be able to wall it effectively. Celebi, I'm not the hugest Celebi fan, but I think I know he likes Celebi, so
Yeah.
if that's like a comfort pick, then
I got choice. I got some words for Celebi.
yeah, I do like Snorlax a lot for this team, because Greninja being the dark type means that it does create some weaknesses as well, and so I think Snorlax does cover quite a lot of like the whole. I think Snorlax actually is probably gonna have to do quite a lot of carrying for this team, which I think can be a weakness, but I think Snorlax as like a mon itself is like very very good in Gen 7 with like the 50% berries just make it really really annoying, and it's a really good win con. Like you run it choice, it has like so much like um it's a lot of nice flexibility with it if played well. And then Steelix Floor just Salamence. I think like in terms of like value, like all three of those mons I think do offer quite a lot of value in terms of like a Fairy Dragon Steel Core, which
Yep.
I guess no one really cares about that in 2025.
No.
But I'll bring it up there
No.
because but I mean he's got the Z elements as well, so that I think like unlike the Dragonite we saw earlier, which wasn't Z, I think if he is gonna draft Salamence and have it as Z, then I think it brings a lot of value, and he can run it defensively like he did in the. I think he brought Rocky Helmet Salamence
Yeah,
for.
I was just so that's what I was gonna
Rock
mention
Bunny.
because he already battled and I watched that one. I was like the first one I watched. And so so the first thing I wrote down was stellar offensive core because I love Mega Glade Greninja is just gonna win you games in general. Like I don't even know why Glade's still a thing. That thing is insane in draft. I love Mega Glade in draft. But defensively, why I have it so low myself, like Celebi and Florges and Snorlax they have so much pressure on them to be defensive that I thought something like a Mega Lopunny is gonna blow through this team. But then I watched that first match and it's checked by Salamence with Rocky Helmet, Intimidate, and that's a great way to use Salamence in a different way that can support you going all in on Mega Glade Greninja as your attacking core.
Yeah.
I don't like Celebi Snorlax just because I think a lot of physical breakers, generally have U-turn. Like a lot of fighting types that can, break through Snorlax pretty quickly. Obviously, Florges can help with that, and like we just saw, Salamence can help with that as well.
Yeah.
I actually like the Magmortar for the Flame Body too, for the random offensive mon that you want to check and get that beautiful burn. But the defensive core is rough, but again, if you're going to use it well, you're going to win so many games, which is just with Gallade and Greninja. So I would probably bump him up too after seeing that first match as well from 17th. But just on looking at the preseason core, that defensive core is rough for me. I just don't like Celebi, relying on Celebi just because U-turn. I think I saw U-turn clicked in the 5 matches I watched like 85 times.
That's fair.
It just U-turn is just so prevalent. But obviously, if you're a good player and you've used Celebi a lot, Celebi can be good. So, but yeah, I think we both can agree that great offensive core. Defensively, it's kind of wait to see. But the first week, it looked great.
I'll defend Celebi slightly. It's like 9 points, and like it does have a lot of like versatility for 9 points.
It's not bad for 9 points. I just think when you're relying on it.
I can get that for sure.
But I think he covered it decently well with the Florida Salamence Snorlax. So we'll see. I like the team. It's good.
Yeah.
And the way he used it, I thought was spectacular. So we'll move on. We got number 4 coming up. We have Killer here, and we have the Orlando Solar Beams. Everybody but the fans, and the fans are always wrong, are high on this draft. And now I can start here because there's a mon on this team that I love and I will always support drafting, and that's that Mega Camera up down there. As long as you draft a team with good momentum, when you do something like a low tier Mega, I think you're going to be fine. And I think he has that, Scissor Rotom, and even Garchomp. That is like an OU core just personified. And I'm a giant Necrozma stan. I think he's always going to be good in draft.
Yeah. But it's Z this time.
Oh, somebody got it right. Yeah. Somebody got it right. Obviously Alolan Muck's good too. Sorry, my wife just started to mow outside my window. It just confused me for a second.
Nice.
But no, I think the team is super balanced. And I think it actually works around Mega Camerupt as well. Defensively, I don't see really any holes. Offensively, I think a lot of mons can be different. Obviously, Garchomp is a Swiss Army knife of a Pokemon, can be super offensive, super defensive. Scizor as well. I don't have any holes for this team. It could use spikes. I wrote that down. It would be nice because I think this team's going to do a lot of pivoting. Yeah. It could use a good spiker, but I would love to use this team myself. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to build with. So
yeah. I had this team a lot lower, and the more I thought about it, the more I just kept pulling it up. Honestly, I'd probably pull it I'd maybe even bump it further on like more thoughts. But yeah, I think it's just like a very solid team. It doesn't really have any like significant weaknesses. The only weakness I saw, again, I've said this quite a few times, quite a lot of these drafts, but this one especially, this team is slow.
Yeah.
And the early speed is Hawlucha Aerodactyl, which I think is like, well, I think it's okay, but it's not spectacular. Then it goes Garchomp, and then you go Rotom Wash. Like, that is literally my only issue with this team. Besides that, I think it's a very good team, and he does have solid bulk, so I think he can play around that, lack of speed decently well, and he has really good priority too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, actually, its speed tiers are pretty interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe like a Trick Room angle because you kind of want to have that in your back pocket when you have Necrozma.
It'd be good into Poxy's Mono Lucer Trick Room team.
Yep, for sure.
So, yeah.
I just think you always want that in your back pocket as a possibility if you have Mega Camerupt on your squad.
Yeah.
And yeah, he has the mons that could benefit from it too. But at the same time, I think it's just kind of bulky balance is kind of what he's going for. And he has all the mons to do that very well. So as long as you build a good team, you're fine.
He has decent bulk and he's decent priority, so I think you can play around it.
I agree. I think we both kind of like the team and see him finishing pretty high. Yep. So moving on, the LA Lake Guardians here, the fans absolutely loving this team. You can go ahead and start if you'd like.
Bro, during the draft, I was like, oh my god, this team is so good. And then I was like, man, this is going to be so high in the rankings. And I looked at it more and more and more. And I just kept finding, like, more holes that I had with this team to where it did drop down a bit for me. But I think ATT's on a very solid job for a guy who actually hasn't played that much draft,
Yeah.
like ever. So yeah, I think like Latios, Mega Sizzle, Clefable, very solid. He then got Tita, which I know is a mon he really likes, and he got Exodus right again, which I think was like very good value.
Oh yeah.
And I think and then he just got a lot of like mons that like force prep, like Swampert, like it can blanket check a lot of things really nicely. Blacephalon, I think a lot of teams are going to be weak to Ghost. I haven't brought it up that much because there aren't that many great Ghost types, but like if they have a great Dark type that can pursue trap, then Blacephalon can kind of just go in on a whole load of teams, and he has basically the best check to Blacephalon in T-Tar.
True.
Fundy T, I've said before, like very solid, and he's got it with extra, which I think is a nice pairing. Similar to Pack's team, I think it is again just kind of too slow. Then fastest Mon Latios, I think that can be exploited a bit, but I think besides that, I actually know one more thing. No grounded poison, which like okay, it seems actually isn't that weak to T spikes because Fable's Magic Guard has Levitate Latio, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is kind of bad. That could kind of annoy maybe Chestnut and Swampert.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all in all, pretty solid. I like the team.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
I think when the fans look at this team and you see Lottie, Mega Scizor, Clefable, that's probably like just one of your most basic fairy Steel Dragon cores ever. It's tried and true. It's going to be good. Obviously having the sand with T-Tar Drill in the back's great. Thunderous and Blacephalon and Chestnut I think actually fit well in this team too. As far as kind of like, hey, you're going to fit this slot. And obviously Swampert does a little bit of everything. So I don't think it's bad too. The only issue I really wrote down with it, so my first sentence was it's just a chalk team. Like this team's good. Like it's going to be good. But as far as being great, is physical breakers on this team, like are you going to be relying on Drill to break physically? Are you going to be relying on Scizor, who likes to set up a little bit more than that? Like who are you running? Maybe like a choice scarf physical breaker. Is it going to be Drill? T-Tar? Is T-Tar going to do that? Probably not. That's not really what it's good at doing. That's my only issue. Like special breakers, you're fine. You got Lottie and Blacephalon and Thunderous to do your special duties. But like physically, it just those mons like to generally do other things. Excadrill can obviously do it, but I think Excadrill has a decent amount of switch-ins. Maybe not a lot that aren't destroyed by Lottie, Blacephalon, and Thunderous, but it's a really good team. I just would like to see one more physical breaker on it, but at the same time, like I think it's still going to win tons of games just because it has one of the best cores in the game, plus a lot of good mons that are going to fill roles.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's really much else to say. I think it's a pretty chalk team, but it's going to do good. It's like obviously when you draft chalk, you know what you're doing with it. So next we have JP. This is actually, it was my favorite team until I saw Clyde's team. It was the first 10 out of 10 I gave on my list. So really what I wrote down, I think this team's pretty perfect in my book, except for like bulky mons with good recovery. I just don't, that doesn't exist on this team besides maybe your Crobat roosting, but I don't think this team really cares. I think this is going to be more of a pivot team that gets into its Gallade and Kyurem to break, and then like late game, pressure like Manaphy and Heatran, things like that. I just don't even know what to say about it besides Savali with Gallade and Kyurem Black should be criminal. Like I don't know if he should be arrested and put in jail, but I'm fine with that. Like, because that's ridiculous. Having that much momentum and that much flexibility into two breakers like that is crazy. I didn't see who his Z-Mons were. Maybe you had that pulled up currently.
Oh, it's
Manaphy
Kyurem Black. Yeah, Manaphy.
Yep. I mean that's perfect. I there's nothing I can do. Crocodile is one of the most versatile mons in draft as far as like attacking wise, on the physical side. Like he can be run in so many different ways. Bulky, whether it's bulky, stealth rocks. He's just a great, just great mons everywhere. like in value. Crobat, Hitmontop, and Crocodile and Klefki are all just value where he got them. I have nothing else to say about it. I love it. This is a team I would love to pilot.
Yeah, this definitely does scream a very U team.
Yeah.
I'm not as high on it, but I still think it's pretty good all in all. I think like okay, Kieran Black, Mega Gallade, that's like, oh man, a lot of teams gonna really struggle to
Yep.
try to defensively check those. And then I think he tried Manaphy, very good. I think Silvally, I think this team is like Silvally is kind of pressed to do quite a bit on this team. I think he doesn't have a grounded poison as well, which I mean, oh you have Silvally for that. I think there are like certain things defensively he kind of like doesn't have great switch into, like some fighting types. I guess Silvally.
That's fair.
Some fairies I could see being a bit annoying. Silvally, but Silvally can't do every single thing, so that's kind of my issue with it.
My only issue with you
But
saying that
besides
is you're wrong. It can do everything.
Oh, okay, my bad.
You just didn't
my
think
bad.
about
Well,
that. You didn't think about that.
If you're not Silvally built like JJ, then you may call that an issue. But
True.
you know, that's neither here nor there. I don't know how he got Crook that late. Like Crook is so
That's
good.
a crazy value to me.
It just it compresses so many like roles like Intimidate, Rocks. Like it's really good Scarfer, really good Dark. There aren't that many good Dark types in Gen 8. Sorry, Gen 7. As I was finding out during the draft. I kind of don't know why Hitmontop's there, but I guess it's cheap, so
It's a cheap, like good mon. That's the only thing I could see. Now I do agree with you. Actually, looking at it, a grounded poison, I think, in place of Vikavolt would be huge. I think he needs one more point for that, because like throwing like a Vileplume on this team, I think would be really good.
But what about webs? But the webs.
Vikavolt doesn't get webs in this gen, does he?
I think it does. I think it got in Usu.
Looking it up.
I think. If it doesn't, if it's Gen 8, then okay, then yeah, actually that's fair enough.
I thought it was Gen 8, I believe.
Oh, you might be right on that actually.
It is Gen 8.
It is Gen 8. Okay, Vikavolt, you're on Fraud Watch, my friends.
Yep. I when I saw it on there, I was like, what does this thing do? And
the only thing I can see, it's like low momentum into the breakers, but I mean, I guess besides Silvally, I guess for that, because
so yeah,
that's like kind of like the main thing.
In Gen 7, he does not learn Sticky Web. Yeah. Sticky Web is Gen 8 at level 29. There you go.
Well,
even the level. But yeah,
it's a sticky fraud.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I do agree. He doesn't have the best sustain as well in terms of his team. I love his just have recovery.
I just think he's gonna go for quick games and then like late game Manaphy shenanigans when all those walls are kind of broken, or like even a team that tries to build super defensively for this team, because of Gallade and Kyurem, and then you have this Manaphy in the back that can set up on these super defensive mons and just tail glow once and then sweep. It's going to be tough. I would actually like sticky webs on this team and a grounded poison. I don't disagree with you. But I loved it. This is just such a me team. There's no way I wasn't putting it high.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
All right, we'll move on. We got what? We're already on number 1.
Oh, wow. And
we have Hughes at number 1. He just he mentioned something today in the Discord chat, because I tried to, like, I'm trying to, I don't know how does anybody know that I'm coming back for this video?
I don't know how. I think a few people might know.
There you go.
I don't know if everyone knows.
My opinion is actually from just messaging a few times in the general chat, is I don't think half these people even know who I am. But hey, that's fine.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
That's fine. But yeah, we have Hughes here at number 1. I had him 4, you had him first, and the fan vote 3. I think that's probably the most consensus thing we've had from everyone. Go ahead. Do you want to start? Go ahead. You got more?
No. I mean, to be honest, it's not like I'm not gonna gush like crazy about the team that I have at number 1. But I think it's just like it's a team that like it's solid. It doesn't have any like specific weaknesses I can see. I think it kind of it's just a does the job well team. Like Greninja, Latios, I think good start. Then getting Clefable with Sizzle again,
Clefable,
that's good.
Scizor, and 3 and 4 is criminal.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's
then he gets
crazy.
Mamoswine in 5. Like that's
Yeah.
like gives him like very good break him. Like good like solid like it's like there's a lot of like very flexible mons. I
Yep.
feel within that first 5. Rotom Mo, like that's a decent pivot. I mean, is that like his only main thing for waters? You could argue maybe. Although I guess I mean Latios and Clefable can kind
Yeah,
of
I was gonna say Lottie and Clefable don't really care unless it's like a super
yeah.
strong water, but there's not that
So
many, and he has one of them. He has Greninja, so
yeah. And
yeah,
then yeah, I think the rest. I think we saw Moltres in one DGBA season like get the MVP. So
yeah, that was
that shows you.
I think that was that really good dude we had that one year that I
Also, yeah,
yeah Zazo, yeah, that dude was
yeah,
a demon. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I remember he brought 5 mons and he still almost beat me. Yeah, that guy's a demon. But no, like
Yeah,
that I wrote down Moltres because I think Moltres works really well with Clef and Scizor. I actually really like that. Um, and then he has backup defoggers that does so Moltres isn't pressured to always come out take rocks, and because obviously the heavy duty boots was Gen 8, right?
yeah.
Yeah, when
Boots
I
is
was when I
shiny.
when I was writing all my notes, I'm like, "There's no boots, Jordan. There's no boots. There's no boots. There's no boots. That's not like you're not worried about that." But yeah, I just think this team is balanced, just
Yeah,
super balanced. And then you have Mega Kang in the back, and I know so we discussed the trade a little bit. He traded Mienshao and Lycanroc, correct?
yeah. He traded Mienshao Lycanroc for Diggersby Terrakion, and then he did the following trades afterwards. He dropped Diggersby, Moltres, and Mark, and picked up Swampert, Weezing, and Vullaby. What do we think of those?
I
So he has Terrakion, Swampert, Weezing, and a Vullaby for some reason.
so I think Terrakion actually takes a lot of pressure off Mamoswine.
Yeah,
For just I have to bring this physical breaker to do X, Y, and Z. I actually really like Terrakion instead of Lycanroc because I don't think he
yeah.
needs
I
Lycanroc
think it's a really
speed.
good. It's really good Zmon as well.
I agree. I actually really like that. I don't like dropping Moltres, but at the same time, like I don't think Moltres is pivotal to what this team's gonna do.
Yeah,
So I'm fine with that. But I don't mind those moves. Because I do think Lycanroc and Bienshao on this team were just kind of a little meh. So anything in place of them, I think is fine.
yeah. I mean, there's one issue I see with the team, but
What do you got?
I was going to bring a really funny set if I play him. Do I play him? Okay, I don't think he has a flying resist anymore, so that maybe could be an issue depending on like who he plays. But yeah,
Yeah. I think not having a flying resist is a problem. I'm trying to think of strong flying types in Gen 7 besides like outside of your Tornaduses. Um, it's Staraptor, but I don't think
I guess
Staraptor is
like
drafted anywhere.
Z Landorus,
Yeah. Yeah.
Aerodactyl. I'm just looking for
Arrow, sure. Now in Gen 7, um, Weezing is only Levitate, correct?
it is only Levitate. That is
Yeah.
correct.
So he got, but he
So
didn't get rid of
yeah,
Muck, did he?
no, he got rid of Mux, so that also means he's
Yeah.
I
No more
guess
grounded
doesn't have a
poison. Yeah.
poison.
Yeah, that's what I was
Which
thinking
I mean,
too.
again, it seems not incredibly.
No,
OP,
not
yeah,
terrible, not terrible.
yeah.
But
It's like
I think this is like the perfect squad that could take on a Mega Kangaskhan.
yeah,
I think it actually fits really well with his top 6 because you can bring that the top 4 should come every week for the most part.
yeah,
And then just filling in your Mega Kang and now and that's why I like Terrakion too. Those strong fighting type moves are going to be super good for him. So.
yeah.
But I don't got anything else. I just think it's a really well balanced team. I think that's why you see at the fan vote. I think that's why a lot of people voted him. That 5 to 4
Yeah,
range.
like that, and unfortunately, Jamoisi was I think the only two where I think
Yeah,
everyone had a
I
consensus
think we
over.
can all agree that team's
And
dog.
and what did Hughes do? He basically dropped like half his team.
I don't disagree with that. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So I don't think we have you didn't put an end slide with all the rankings in order. Unbelievable from you.
No. They have to watch the video.
Oh, they have to watch the full video. True. I'm just saying,
Yes.
as someone who used to run the videos of the DGBA, I'm disappointed in you, but that's okay. That is going to be it for us, though. That is all the rankings. Congratulations to the people who rated high, and whoever's rated low, screw you. You suck. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that is it. So we'll end it here. You got anything else?
Like the video, subscribe.
Like and subscribe, guys. There's 1,700 people in the Discord, and there's only I don't even know how many people are subscribed to the DGBS channel because I don't know how much you guys upload anymore.
Yeah, literally only, to be honest, we literally use it for PRs.
Only PRs, yeah.
Maybe we need more content. Maybe.
I
maybe bring back the DGBA lock.
I used to. I had dreams, man. I had dreams, but life always runs in the way. Work, back then it was tough.
What it is.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one.